Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Everybody! Uh-oh! 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 Engines roaring loud and proud. Track is hot, fans are wild. Speeds are climbing high and fast. Racing dreams are built to last. Drivers ready, hearts are strong. Victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns. Corners come and swiftly turn. Drivers ready, hearts are strong. Victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns. Corners come and swiftly turn. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Grind! Uh-oh! Racing grind. Pit crew ready, tools in hand. Every second by a strand. Fuel and tires, quick change. Back to track and destined range. Pit crew ready, tools in hand. Every second by a strand. Strand. Fuel and tires, quick change. Back to track and destined range. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Uh-oh! Grind. Uh-oh! Racing grind. Uh-oh! Uh-oh!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from the beautiful Talladega Super Speedway. These drivers are ready to duke it out. They are ready to go to battle as they got a lot of racing action here for you this evening as things are about to get underway. Drivers out on the racetrack getting their qualifying session in. They're going to get their quick few laps in here for qualifying to try to set the stage here for this evening's first Dega Duel. So tonight, a little bit of a different feel to things as we will be racing here at Talladega Super Speedway with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. These drivers will be hopping out onto the speedway here for not one, but two races here this evening. So two different duels, meaning that we're going to have two stages and two different winners here this evening, which means there's a possibility at a ton of points to try to pick up here for the playoffs, and two drivers that could potentially lock themselves into our PSCAL Racing League playoffs here this evening. So two different drivers can work themselves into the playoffs here with big wins at Talladega, and it's anybody's game when it comes to these plate races. Drivers that we normally don't see towards the front of the field or really have that extra gear yet in this series, or just haven't had very much luck, that could turn the tables here tonight as they are not going to get one but two opportunities at picking up a checkered flag and punching their way straight on through to our playoffs here this evening. So things are going to be very, very wild. Things are going to be very interesting to see who is going to be able to put themselves into victory lane. As qualifying slowly but surely coming to a close here, we're going to take a quick moment to get a word in here. Our opening command from Lonnie Crider. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Mr. Crider coming in again with our opening command.
It's another great night for racing. Once again, I'd like to thank all our sponsors, appreciate our announcer. What a great job he's doing. Thank you for all the drivers coming out to drive in the race. And to all the people that's at home watching, hey, we're looking for a great race tonight. So thank God for another wonderful day. Gentlemen, start those engines and let's get this race on the way.
Alrighty, shout out there to Lonnie coming in with that opening command for us here this evening. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to ask you now to rise and remove your hat as we will hear our national anthem brought to you by Landon Burbage before we get rocking and rolling here with our A main feature event, our first A main of the evening. Wieners, as this is the Rollin' Wieners Dash for Cash evening. There is money on the line, not for only one of these duels, but for both of the duels here this evening. I do believe it's $80 up for grabs here, which is absolutely amazing, absolutely crazy to see that we're going to get a lot of these drivers out there onto the racetrack battling for some extra cash here this evening. And it's not about just being the winner. If you did not put money into the pot for the Dash for Cash, you can still win this race and lock yourself into the playoffs. It is the Dash for Cash drivers that are battling amongst themselves here this evening for that extra little bit of dough. So things are going to get very, very wild in a quick hurry here in this one for Matthew Wood, Landon Burbage, Trent Johns as well, one of those drivers battling here for the extra money in the Dash for Cash. Jordan Crider, Josh Crider, Brian Underwood, Jonathan Gaston, Danny White, Farrell Robbins, Ben Gleason, Paul LaCour, Grant Applegate, Dylan Carrier, Kevin Winker, and Noah Blackwell also jumping in here in battling for that extra money on the line here. And a huge shout out to Mr. Jordan Crider as well. Jordan, heard that it's his birthday here this evening, so a huge happy birthday to Mr. Crider here tonight. As a huge happy birthday, a huge congratulations to him being another year older here this evening, and maybe an extra little payday, maybe a little extra money going into the 69 ride here this evening, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go. Our first race, our first A main of the evening is going to look like this. Starting on the pole in the 2 right, that is Landon Burbage. To his outside of the Mountain Dew, number 57 is Grant Applegate. Then we see Chris Stange and Farrell Robbins there in 3rd and 4th, with the 42 of Kevin Winker and Jonathan Gaston, our top 6. Trenton Johns and Matthew Wood there in 7th and 8th, with Danny White, Jaden Porter rounding out our top 10 on the Speedway. Paul LaCour, Ryan Haller, Dylan Carrier, Thomas Hovar, and then we see Dallas Seward, Jordan Crider, Noah Blackwell, Scott Healy, Jordan Hand, Brian Underwood, our top 20 here on the racetrack. William Connolly, Josh Crider, Nathan Brookover, and Ben Gleason bringing up the rear of the field. As we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation. As quickly, these drivers going to go up and through the gears down into corner number 1 as Duel race number 1 is getting underway here. Duel number 1 underway. The Rollin' Wieners Dega Duels here this evening as these drivers duking it out here on the racetrack. I do have to change that upper banner. Sorry, ladies, I had internet issues before we went live. My internet cut out, and then we didn't have multi-streaming available for some reason on Streamlabs. So we've been dealing with some things here. Let me see here. Let's go with. There we go. We'll get that going. It's out in front here for lap number 1. It is Landon Burbage. Burbage will lead the way down through the tri-oval and down across the line. It is that 2 right that will lead lap number 1 here this evening. Chris Stange there on his back bumper. The Fueled Up Motorsports AdminBoxx number 29 ride rolls there in the 2nd position. They see the Muleburger Custom Homes number 42 of Kevin Winker trying to get that outside line movement, seeing if he can jump up here and try to lead a lap or 2 here himself, as he's getting a great jump there to his back bumper. That Mountain Dew number 57 ride of Grant Applegate right there on his back bumper. They see Farrell Robbins, Trenton Johns in a beautiful looking 3G machine there on the Speedway is the 28 ride. Currently, right now, rounding out our top 5 here on the Speedway is the inside lane. Gonna pull ahead just ever so slightly through the tri-oval, but it's a drag race down and across the line, and it's Kevin Winker who's gonna jump up and take this race lead away. So Winker now gonna lead a lap here in this one as my boy Chris Getz coming in showing the love, says let's go No Luck Racing. Cheered on all of his No Luck Racing, No Luck Motorsports teammates here this evening. But right now it's Kevin Winker and Landon Burbage out in front of the field, leading their respective lines here on the racetrack. But as we get closer and closer to handing out some stage points, we're going to start to see a little 3 wide starting to brew here. So 3 wide starting to brew is up on the very outside of the speedway here at Talladega Super Speedway. It is that 16 ride on Matthew Wood. So Matthew Wood up there now is going to see Healy jump up and in front of him. So the Monster Energy number 64 ride, a big bump right there. Oh baby, that one could have been bad news in a quick hurry. It's the big one. You never know when it's going to strike here with these super speedway style of racetracks, as these drivers all right there parked on top of each other. Not a lot of these drivers backing down or giving up out there on the speedway. They're looking for every single thing they can. Oh, hang on to the 76 ride. Oh, Farrell Robbins very loose there. Down the back straightaway, the band of brothers, 76 right, able to collect himself there, keep that car pointing in the right direction. Luckily enough, did not make any contact with anybody else out there on the speedway. As again, that could have been another big one, but look at that third line starting to really move forward, starting to push that subject here at the front of the field as they are 3 wide down through the tri-oval, and it's that third line that's going to take that race lead away from Kevin Winker. Farrell Robbins to the point now, but it is 3 wide racing here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. It's the Dega Duels, powered by Roland Wieners here this evening, putting on a heck of a show and a heck of a race for us already in this one. 3 wide racing here at Talladega. This is the NASCAR racing that we were hoping to watch here on a Saturday night. This is where the action is. Bristol Motor Speedway's got nothing on us, as I know the real-life NASCAR guys are racing over at Bristol. They're in Tennessee. Well, we're in Alabama, baby. It's Talladega Super Speedway, and this is the show that everyone wanted to watch here this evening. The battle here on the racetrack. Everyone trying to get every single point they can. Is lap number 15 will be our stage break. So stage break coming up here in about 10 minutes, or 10 laps from now, roughly about 10 minutes, but 10 laps from now, we will see that first stage break of the evening. And that means a lot of points are going to be handed out. Some playoff points for the driver who wins this stage as well. So being at the front of the field, getting all those extra points towards either your regular season championship or your potential of locking yourself or driving yourself points based into the playoffs. You need to make sure you're getting as many stage points as you can, especially at a night in a track like this where anything is possible. You can take a bad night and make it not so bad when you can earn yourself a lot of extra points here in this feature event, as they're 4 wide here at Talladega. 4 wide as Farrell Robbins gets pushed in up and out of the lane here. 4 wide there through quarter 1 and 2. And man, oh man, oh man, this is just a testament to the talent that's out there on the racetrack week after week after week here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League, as these drivers putting on one absolutely amazing race here, a masterclass of super speedway action here on the night. And man, oh man, oh man, this has been a lot of fun, and we're going to continue to see drivers slowly but surely either work themselves closer and closer to the front of the field, or maybe slide back in some contact. The 74, the 79, the 99, all getting collected here. More drivers, the big one down through the tri-oval. Danny White, one of those drivers collected. I do believe he was the first one to go around, as our first caution flag of the evening is going to fly. So our first caution flag coming out here at Talladega, and we will take a look back and see what happened. As it looked like the Jack Daniels 79 ride getting a little bit squirrely down through the tri-oval. See if we can get another look at this one. As It's going to get a little squirrely, maybe a little contact right there. The 5-rider Crider comes down trying to side draft off those cars in the middle lane. Unfortunately makes contact with the 79, who comes down into the AG's Designs number 74 ride. Nowhere to go for Ryan Haller. He's right there in the middle of it. He's got nowhere to go, but luckily enough, doesn't look like a whole lot of damage for him, but there's some more as the 74 bounces back up the track. The 41, a LaCour also collected in this one. The 25 ride, a William Connolly right here, nowhere to go for him as he's going to get a piece of that one and go for a slide, as well as the 9-0 Blackwell. He's trying to stay out of this. He's trying to keep himself clean there, and looks like he's able to get through it without too much issue. So a good piece of driving by some of those competitors that decided to hang back a little bit farther here on the speedway. Keeping yourself a little bit farther back, keeping yourself out of trouble sometimes is the best place to be. Let's see if we can jump on board here with, let's jump on board with Ryan Haller. See what the 99 ride sees. This is going to happen right in front of him. There's the initial contact. 79 right down the racetrack, and there's nowhere for him to go, and they all just keep bouncing around and off of each other, and fortunate contact. Unfortunately, a bunch of drivers getting tore up right there. There was a lot of cars that all of a sudden had nowhere to go, and that is the big thing here at Talladega. Sometimes no fault of your own, just wrong place at the wrong time, but one driver that was kind of in the wrong place at the wrong time, but ended up making it through that. Once that 54 ride of Hovarth, we do see the birthday boy of Jordan Crider getting into this as well. Crider going to get a good piece of that, I do believe the 41 ride right here. So let's take a look and see if we can find Mr. Crider in this rubbered up number 69 ride as he slides him through there, locks him up. Unfortunately, gets into that 25 actually of Connolly. So a little bit of front end damage there. Or that rubbered up number 69 ride. He'll keep on rolling. A huge happy birthday there to Jordan Crider as well. Luckily enough, not too much damage for him, but we did see the number 54, Thomas Hovarth, somehow make it through this fairly easily, getting not a scrape on him here. Let's see if we can take a look on board or get a little tracker here on this 54 ride. As you're going to see this contact, the black Jack Daniels ride up here in front of him with just a couple rows. See that contact, everyone kind of getting there, maybe a little front end damage getting into the back end, or Ryan Haller pushing him through that, but for the most part, he was able to stay out of that action and keep that car fairly clean on the speedway. So lucky break and a good piece of driving there from that 70 or 54 is. We'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to battle here in this one. Is out in front. Grant Applegate is our race leader. Dallas Seward there in second. The 2-rider Landon Burbage in position number 3. Kevin Winker, the Winker Nation ride, rolling there in the 4th position, as I do see Shauna Rita coming in. Showing the love, says go Winker, hashtag Winker Nation up in the chat, cheering on this 42, as we do see Applegate head down pit side here. So a bit of a different race strategy for the Mountain Dew number 57 as he'll come down pit side. That's a tough break right there, as Austin coming in says, what is up, John Spotter here? Let's go, John Spotter coming in showing the love. How are you, Austin? Hopefully you guys are ready for a busy night of racing action here this evening. Is not only one feature event but 2, so 2 30-lap duels to potentially lock 2 more drivers into our playoffs to gain a lot of points and maybe some extra playoff points from drivers that are already locked in to that first round of the Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs here this evening. So drivers that can stretch their points lead out, gain those extra playoff points, is up for grabs, but it's also up for grabs for drivers that are outside the playoffs right now, that are looking for that win, that are looking for that lucky break or the extra points that come along with 4 opportunities to gain points here this evening. Could make for a very wild night at the racetrack. As out in front, it's now Dallas Seward who leads the way here, as Landon Burbage will be there in position number 2. The Camaro, the 42 of Kevin Winker, there in third, as the Monster Energy 64 ride of Scott Healy to his outside. Then we see the 29 of Chris Stange, the 72, the Gaston's iRacing Graphics 72 ride of Jonathan Gaston, there in position number 6. Then we see Matthew Wood down there in the Racers for Christ number 16, and the 28 of Trenton Johns there to his outside. The 88, a new looking paint scheme here for the Gamer Subs Auto Value Parts Store, number 88 of Dylan Carrier, and the 54 ride of Thomas Hovarth. They're rounding out our top 10. And we see LaCour, Ben Gleason, Brian Underwood, Noah Blackwell, and Farrell Robbins, our top 15 here on the Speedway, as we're going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. As here at Talladega Super Speedway, this track is a very similar style, and obviously Super Speedway just like Daytona, but you see the start-finish line is not there through the tri-oval. The Geico restart zone is, as our start-finish line is more down here on the straightaway towards corner number 1, which extends these races by that extra little bit. We can see some crazy finishes there, not only through battles in the tri-oval, but the tri-oval normally acts as a junction point where we see a lot of contact, a lot of moving around, especially in those couple final laps, and that's really going to be a hot spot for where we're going to see contact and caution flags here throughout the evening, and that can really open up the door for 3, 4, 5 wide battles down across the line towards our start finish line. As quickly, Kevin Winker gonna jump to the front of the field here. The 38 ride, not a great jump here in that number 38, trying to get up through the gears. The bottom lane starting to separate ever so slightly, as that middle lane is working very well together. They're tight together, and that's gonna push the 42 of Kevin Winker right now to the front of the field as they head down through the tri-oval. You see that third lane right there as well, trying to get reorganized, trying to get drivers up there and wanting to pounce towards the front of the field. That's Kevin Winker at the front of the field doing a great job here, showing these drivers how to get it done. As Kurt Jansen says, I hope Gleason proves to be, let me double check this. I hope Gleason proves to be a stiff competition in the Oscar Mayer Wiener ride. Yes, Sirski, the Oscar Mayer Wiener ride definitely looking very, very fresh down there. It's looking very fast. And we'll have to wait and see if that Oscar Mayer Wiener ride can continue to work himself, up and through the field, see if he can try to make some moves and put himself into position late in this race to maybe pick up a checkered flag, as we're not going to have 1, but 2 races here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is only the first of 2 Gatorade duels here on the night. It's all powered by the Rolling Wieners here this evening, as the Rolling Wieners coming on board and, making sure that, we get a little bit of a bonus for that Dash for Cash, and coming in as our sponsor here as well. You should see the logo in the logos on the far side over there. Way over there, should see the logo for the Rolling Wieners come up here for everybody. We threw them in there last second. We had internet issues. I was very, very nervous that we weren't actually going to make it here in time, so we were trying to rush things, trying to get things set up perfectly here. We did end up running into some issues where we couldn't go live as a multi-stream, so no live stream over on Twitch or Facebook here this evening, but we are live, luckily enough, over on YouTube. So welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to the very amazing YouTube broadcast. Is out in front right now, Kevin Winker looking to put himself up and into victory lane. Now you see Landon Burbage going to leave him high and dry, jump up to the outside lane, so a big run coming from that number 2 ride. So Landon Burbage into that second spot here on the Speedways, the 64 ride there in position number 4. You're pushing him now, trying to get to the front of the field, as you do see the 38 ride now. Stewart having a great run right there, pushing that 42 of Mr. Kevin Winker. A good run so far, as well as the Carson Elrod Strong number 72 ride, as the Elrod Strong machine rolling here in that 5th position. Now going to end up with the top spot here in the outside lane as quickly we see Landon Burbage and Scott Hewley jump right down to that bottom lane on the speedway and in front of Kevin Winker. So these two going to push each other to the front of the field. Winker now going to lead that bottom lane. He's going to try to roll up to the outside of the 64 ride. So he gets a good shove right there from Jonathan Gaston. So Gaston will move him up a little bit closer back to the front of the field as these drivers continue to battle out there on the racetrack. 3 wide a little farther back. We see Noah Blackwell up there leading that outside lane here at Talladega. He's got Dylan Carrier, the 1 ride of Jordan Hand, and the 8 machine. Nathan Brookover right there behind him. 4 cars in that outside lane, but here you go. Jonathan Gaston now going to leave Kevin Winker a little bit more high and dry there in the second row. As now we see Gaston jumping up the lead outside lane here at Talladega as this is the final lap here before our stage break. So extra points being handed out here in just half a lap. Drivers trying to earn themselves all the important playoff points that they can get and all the points towards working themselves into the playoffs here this evening as side by side at the front of the field. Kevin Winker getting a great shove here from the 6th ride of Brian Underwood. Underwood pushing him out in front as he's going to lead us down through the tri-oval, and it looks like it's going to be a drag race back down to the line, but it's Kevin Winker who will lead lap number 15, and that is our stage winner. So Kevin Winker leading stage number 1 here this evening. No caution flag on the racetrack. We're going to keep it clean and green out here for all these competitors. Now you're going to see some drivers start to fall out of line here. You do see that 38 ride. He's going to jump out of line. So Dallas Seward down the racetrack here. He's going to go down onto the apron, let this pack roll on by him. He'll rejoin here at the rear. Now just trying to play it a little bit more safe. This 3 wide racing, the battling. He knows that something could be brewing. We could be in for a big one here towards the front of the field as each and every one of these drivers are absolutely duking it out here on the speedway for what could be a very big, a very important race win, and what could be a make or break race for a lot of these drivers that are trying to advance into the playoffs on points. If you have a good night, you can maybe potentially try to move yourself forward, leapfrog some drivers, build a little bit of a gap towards making it into the playoffs. But if you have a bad night here this evening and you don't gain a lot of stage points, you don't gain any points or a lot of points throughout this race, and our second race, you could be potentially, 20, 30, 40 points that you lose to those competitors that you're battling with points-wise here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. So there's a lot on the line for these drivers to not only perform well, but to have to finish off these races, and it's easier said than done, as anything can happen at any moment in time here at Talladega Super Speedway. One wrong push, one wrong move, all of a sudden we can see this field go upside down in a very quick hurry. We can see our top 6, 9, 10, 12 cars all of a sudden have extreme damage being collected in a huge wreck here on the speedway, and all of a sudden it kind of flips everybody around. We see those drivers that are outside the top 10 move towards the front of the field, and if we have enough time and green flag checker finishes, it can happen multiple times here on the evening, but we're going to hope for nothing but clean and green racing here for each and every one of these drivers. But accidents do happen, and when they happen here at Dega, they tend to be very big accidents. We already saw one car get a little contact, then go around it and collected about 5 or 6 drivers here. So you can see how quickly they're after our first caution flag and how much it can really mix up everything here standings-wise and racing-wise on the evening, and who can get collected. No business being in a wreck, nowhere close to it, but somehow or another they still end up in it, and that's just Talladega racing, and there it is! There's the contact! Around goes a bunch of our drivers in the front of the field, one of them the 6th ride. Getting collected here, that was Brian Underwood getting turned around in the 6th ride, and look at everybody else piling into this one. The 28 of Trenton Johns, the 54 of Thomas Horvath. There you go, even afterwards, more contact. There is the 28, the 79. They come together, so more drivers getting collected here in this one. Oh, man, Nathan Brookover in there in the 8 ride. We do see Ryan Haller with quite a bit of damage on his number 99. Danny White, again, getting collected in this one. Oh, man, Jaden Porter, tons of damage there for the 74 machine as well here on the Speedway. And that is not what the drivers really wanted to see, as we will take a look back and see what happened here to bring out caution flag number 2 as we had 10 laps left to go in this race. Let's take a look back and see what happened. Is down the back straightaway. This is where things really start to, get a little bit wild here. Let's see if we can get another look at this. Let's see if we can get a more overhead view of what happens here. There's the 6 ride in the middle, leading that middle lane. You see the 72 ride right there of Gaston. So Jonathan Gaston getting pushed by the 9 ride and getting him very, very squirrely here on the racetrack. See how squirrely he is, and unfortunately as he's getting moved around here, he still getting pushed in the back end, and that's kind of what gets things started here, and gets down into the 6 right lane, and Burbage getting some contact into that. Thomas Horvarth getting in there, the 64, the 25 getting some damage, a little bit more contact there as well for the 41 ride of LaCourte as well. Looks like the Oscar Mayer 66 going to get a little damage into that as well. Then here comes Brookover, unfortunately sliding sideways into corner number 3. Gets a huge contact into that 6 ride. The 69 in there as well. This is half of our field, ladies and gentlemen, that all of a sudden just got absolutely tore up down the back straightaway here. And this one ended up being a lot bigger than what we thought it was going to be, as there was a lot of drivers up and inside of our top 10 that all of a sudden ended up with quite a bit of damage here on their rides. And a lot of these drivers that were hanging out a little deeper in the field also getting some contact in there. As you see that number 79 ride into it, the 74 in there as well. And a lot of tore up race cars. Heavy damage there for that 6 ride of Brian Underwood. Heavy damage for the 28 ride of Trenton Johns, as well as let's take another look back at what happened. Let's see if we can jump on board with this 6 ride and really get a good look at what happens here, as we'll jump on board with them. You see already not the way you're looking down the back straightaway here. You want to be looking straight ahead into quarter number 3. He was minus P's and Q's. All of a sudden contact turned up into the 16 and down into that number 2 ride, and then sliding sideways here. A lot of these drivers just nowhere to go. Everyone crashing into them, and lots of contact, lots of damage here. Even more there for them. A couple big hits into a few of those drivers down on the infield. And let's take another look. Let's jump on board here with the driver like Noah Blackwell. Blackwell's going to get a great look at this one, as he was the driver that was on the back bumper of Jonathan Gaston. So down the back straight away, you're going to see Gaston gets the shove right there. Up, down, he's trying to catch this ride. Unfortunately, could not catch it quick enough. And you see that Naira getting quite a bit of damage right there as well from that contact. Let's see if we can jump on with maybe a driver like Jaden Porter, who's going to come in from a little deeper in the field and get into this. Sees the smoke, sees everyone spinning. He's trying to cut down the racetrack and get onto the binders, and all of a sudden they're just still racking in front of him. He's trying to get through it. Unfortunately, they all kind of mash in there, and unfortunately, even as he gets stopped on the racetrack, still going to get quite a bit of damage from that contact. And just how quickly things can happen, things can go wrong here at Talladega Super Speedways. Kevin Winker out in front continues to lead the way. So Winker at the front of the field here with Landon Burbage going to stay there in position number 2. Hopefully not too much damage for that 2 ride. We did see the 6 ride get into him ever so slightly down the bottom of the racetrack. And you start to see some of these drivers rolling on the apron as well, maybe trying to save as much fuel as possible here. This fuel may become an issue, or just trying to make sure that it's not an issue if we see a green-white checkered here on the evening for race number 1. And now the next big things that's going to happen here is it's going to be why aren't you guys watching the real-life races? because we got better things to do, brother. We got racing ourselves here on the evening. Why watch real life racing when we got sim racing that's putting on an even better show than what real life racing's doing, man. Bristol, it's fun. I like the racetrack, but man, that was a snooze fest for the first 300 laps. I don't know what's happened since then, because we've got something better to watch, something more interesting and something way more fun to do here on a Saturday night than watch snooze car here, as we got the Premium Stock Car Racing League here at Talladega Super Speedway on this wonderful Saturday evening, as we're going to get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here for Duel number 1 on the evening. We will get ready to... Isn't the Bristol 500 happening right now? It is happening right now, but who cares about Bristol, baby? When we got these drivers here at Talladega, it's Dega, baby, here this evening, as these drivers are ready to go back to battle here with 7 laps left to go in race number 1, Dega Duel number 1 here on the evening, powered by Rolling Wieners in the Dash for Cash. A lot of money up on the line here as well. Almost $100 going to the winner of that Dash for Cash to earn themselves that extra payday here in race number 1. Dega Duel number 2 will also have almost $100 on the line, as we will go down through the Geico restart zone. We are back to Green Flag Racing here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League, as Kevin Winker out in front, the 16 rider Matthew Wood right there on his back bumper. Landon Burbage gonna jump down into the line here on the bottom side of the speedway, as here comes the 88 of Dylan Carrier. Carrier in the Gamer Subs number 88 ride will jump to the lead here in that middle lane, but right there the 16 ride gonna leave Winker high and dry. He jumps into that lane, but now we see Carrier try to go to the outside, as we're gonna go back to 3 wide racing just as quickly as we went to the caution flag here, as these drivers quickly jumping right back out here, trying to work themselves to the front of the field. Is not only points towards the playoffs here on the line here for all these drivers, but we also have money on the line. All of our Dash for Cash drivers, they know what's at stake here. They want to earn that extra money. They want to put that money into their back pocket. Winker, one of those drivers here, looking for the extra payday in Dega Duel number 1. And he's trying to keep himself at the front of the field. Is right now Landon Burbage there in second. Now we're going to see some wildness at the end of this race, but we're going to see some contact again. Around goes the 28 of Trenton Johns. Johns goes around, caution flag back out on the speedway. Caution flag number 3 here in our first Dega Duel of the evening is down the back straightaway. Trenton Johns looks like he's going to get turned around here. Going to go for a skid down the back straightaway. And man, oh man, this is going to be a very exciting finish to this race, man. This is going to be absolutely wild. We're going to see some craziness unfold here. So let's take a look. The far chase of the 28 ride. Some contact there in the middle lane. Drivers just not necessarily lined up perfectly here. And we see the 66. Oh, whoa. We're playing a little too quick here. Let's back her up. Let's back her up here, chat. There we go. All right, so 66 into the back of the 88 ride, as he's kind of getting a little sideways after that contact. He gets contact from the 5 machine of Crider, and that kind of just pushes him down the racetrack. You see that damage to the left rear of the Oscar Mayer Hot Dogs number 66 ride. Gets turned down into the 3G.com number 28 of Trenton Johns, and you see Farrell Robbins sliding down there. Danny White again. You see that 5 rider Crider going to get some more damage there as he gets into the back end of that 28 ride. A good piece of driving here by everybody else for the most part to be able to keep themselves out of trouble, and the 28 ride getting locked down and not getting into the inside fence there as well is definitely a thing of beauty, as you can hit that wall and tear a car up in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. Let's take another look at this one, as there's the contact. Around goes the 28, and everybody just scatters here. Does a pretty good job of avoiding additional contact and additional damage here. Good heads-up driving late in this race as everyone trying to get everything they can out there on the speedway, trying to set themselves up for a big night at the speedway. But we're going to see this one go right down to the wire. It's man, oh man. This is going to be a wild finish, ladies and gentlemen. Money on the line. Who's going to run with who? Who's going to leave somebody high and dry? Will these drivers have places to go? Will they push a little bit harder, maybe trying to, make a driver loose, get them down onto the apron, get them out of the way to try to move themselves forward, especially on that final lap? If you're pushing one of those other drivers towards the front of the field, and they're one of these drivers that are battling for the extra money in the Dash for Cash, and so are you. Why do you want to help that other driver try to win that money? You're going to want to try to get around them. You're going to want to try to put yourself in position to win that money here this evening, even though everybody here is friends and family and everything else when it comes down to it. You want to be that driver across the line, in the top spot, whether or not you're in the Dash for Cash or not, or if you are one of those Dash for Cash drivers, you want to make sure that every one of those other guys are back there behind you. So it's going to get pretty crazy. It's going to get pretty wild here at the end of this one. As Natalie Underwood, Natalie coming in, showing the love here in this one, says, I'd rather be watching this race for sure. Let's go, number 69. Cheering on that number 69 rider, Jordan Crider, here this evening. And a huge shout out again to Mr. Jordan Crider, his birthday here this evening. So good to see him not only celebrating his birthday here with us on the broadcast, but having some fun here on the simulator and enjoying some racing action here tonight, and looking to try to earn himself some extra money here. Could be a good payday, a little bit of extra birthday money on the line here for that 69 of Jordan Crider on the evening. And I don't know how old Jordan is turning here this evening, but I know he definitely wants to see a win here this evening and potentially locking himself into that playoff bound area, and getting that win, lock yourself into the playoffs. Being a part of the playoffs here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League with some of the elites here on the simulator is definitely where you want to be. It puts you into that premium class of drivers out there on the racetrack, and I know he's going to be one of those drivers looking to put himself into victory lane. Is Kevin Winker out in front? He is definitely looking to try to pick up a win here this evening. Tried to pick up a win last week, unfortunately ran out of fuel here. Made it very, very close. Almost had a great race going for him. Unfortunately, things went astray in a quick hurry for that 42 ride. But Winker here this evening looking to pounce. We've seen the 42 ride run a lot of super speedway races, a lot of these drafting style of races here, not only in these NASCAR Xfinity rides and the NASCAR Cup rides, but we've also seen him a lot in the NASCAR trucks as well. So he's no slouch when it comes to super speedway racing. He could be one of those drivers that's a little bit of an underdog, maybe a little bit of a dark horse here. Maybe not as many friends as everybody else, being one of the newer drivers into the series. So it'll be interesting to see what Winker can do here in these closing laps of this first Dega Duel to try to put himself up and into victory lane as the pace is trying to get picked up here a little bit. These drivers are trying and wanting to pass the pace car here down the back straightaway. I don't think they need to push the subject that much, but they are all over the back bumper of our pace truck here this evening as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. The green flag about to come back out here in just a couple more moments. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here this evening for the Dega Duels, powered by the Rolling Wieners here this evening, as the Rolling Wieners Dash for Cash up for grabs as well. I do believe the number is $80 to our Dash for Cash winner here this evening. That is an extra payday, and you can win not only one time but two times, as we're going to have back-to-back feature events here on the night. So 2 races here this evening at Talladega. This is this is Dega Duel number 1 on the night, and we got another one coming up, and the intensity is only going to get bigger and bigger here throughout the evening. But right now these drivers are pulling their belts tight one more time as we go back to green flag racing here at Talladega Super Speedway. Kevin Wenker out in front, going up and through the gears, getting a good shove there to his back bumper is Matthew Wood, trying to work himself towards the front of the field here. Ooh, but the caution flag going to come right back out here almost instantly. So issues on this restart, and we're going to go right back to the yellow flag as we'll take a look back here. It's looking like Brian Underwood, one of these drivers, getting kind of tied up in this as see if we can get a look here. So Underwood starting a little farther back. The 6 right trying to get up and through the gears. 41 right there tries to go up to the triple lane. Unfortunately, oh, right there. There you go. Good piece of driving. Oh, the 28 right ends up getting into the wall there again as well. Trish trying to avoid what's happening in front of him. So if you take a look, Paul LaCourt on the outside here. He's thinking about trying to go 3 wide. Realizes there's really no one coming with him, but the 6 ride, he sees that there's an opening here, gets the run, and gets to the inside of that 41 ride. The 41 comes down, makes contact there with the 6 machine, spins Brian Underwood around. Then you're going to see the 28 ride of Trenton Johns right here as well. He's going to see that happening. He's going to try to avoid it. Unfortunately, drives up the track a little too far and finds the outside fence there himself. But Brian Underwood just trying to mind his P's and Q's here, trying to get a big run, looking to maybe try to get to the back bumper of his teammate in the 6 ride just there in front of him before that contact is made. As you'll watch that 41 come down the racetrack right there. And unfortunately, he's got a hooks Underwood there in that right rear quarter panel and sends him up into the fence there, and that's what brings us right back to the caution flag. So cautions breeding cautions here in this one as Angela Frey says, let's go number 2. Cheered on that 2 machine here this evening as the 2 rider Landon Burbage having a good run. Currently scored in that 3rd position. Going to get ready for a big restart here. Trying to maybe get lined up here with his teammate Matthew Wood. I know Matthew multiple times has said he wants to try and put that 2 ride of Landon Burbage into victory lane to trying to help lock him into the playoffs here. And this may be a golden opportunity for the 2 of them to work together. I really thought there for the start of that restart right there, those 2 are going to get lined up. We'll have to wait and see if the 16 maybe holds up a little bit, maybe lets that 2 ride jump in front of them, leaves the 42 high and dry down on the bottom side of the racetrack. And man, we're gonna see some teamwork and some drama here, ladies and gentlemen, for certain, to end this first Gatorade Duel off on the evening. And now we're going to run into a bigger question as well. You do see the 42, you see the 25 starting to roll down on the apron, really taking the shortest way around the racetrack here. This fuel starts to become an issue. Will fuel end up playing a factor here in our first green-white checker, our first overtime attempt here with the NASCAR rides this evening? Will we see drivers have that fuel issue, maybe a hiccup on the restart or anything else, or maybe just running out before that start-finish line, maybe taking a win away from them, or a very solid finish, or could be potentially taking away $80 for the Dash for Cash here this evening by not having enough fuel in your ride. It is going to get absolutely intense here, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to get absolutely wild here tonight. Austin says, well, that's unfortunate for mine and John's team. Yeah, unfortunate break right there, Austin. Unfortunate break, but, I mean, as long as you can still roll out there, you can still gain positions, you can still have some good moments and some good runs out there on the speedway, and, potentially, still end up with a very solid run here on the evening. And the good news is that you not only have 1 duel here tonight, you got 2. So right after this race finishes, what we're going to be doing is post-race interviews. We're going to interview our top 3 from this feature event. Then we're going to load into another server. As we load into that next server, we're going to jump into a quick practice session. Probably only a couple minutes left of that. We're going to qualify again, so drivers are going to be able to kind of jump up there, qualify, try to get something going, and see if they can, maybe start a little closer to the front of the field, run a different strategy than what they did here in this first one, and maybe, to the other end, you have a good run, a good finish here in this Dega Duel. Maybe you try to play it the opposite way in the next one, or maybe you try to play it a little bit more safe, knowing that you've already gotten some good points. It's gonna be insane. It's gonna be a little intense to see what this is gonna do, because we're gonna see all these same drivers right back onto the racetrack. It may be, you know, frustrations starting to boil over for some of these drivers. Maybe not having a good run here in Dega race number 1. Maybe they're a little bit more aggressive. Maybe not gonna help a lot of drivers out in Dega race number 2, which could create even more chaos and carnage out there on the racetrack. So we're in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen. We're in for a treat here in this one, as Austin says he downshifted a little bit early, lap at lap, just in good condition to continue. Yeah, well, hey, you know what? It happens. It happens. We've seen multiple drivers in different series unfortunately do that. We've seen drivers on restarts, you know, starting in second gear or third gear, and, you know, you try to shift up a gear and all of a sudden you shift down a gear. It's very easy to do, especially in the paddle shifter era or anything else. You know, you just you know, hit the wrong paddle or anything else, or you hit it a little too quick, and all of a sudden, bam, you can create a lot of carnage, a lot of chaos there out on the racetrack, especially here at Dega. We saw that 28 ride just shoot up the racetrack into the outside wall. I figured maybe something like that happened, as normally you see these cars jerk like that extremely, you know, when you're shifting, you know, and riding the brakes at the same time. Sometimes that can kind of really affect the car, and that's exactly what we saw there with that 28. But we're going to get ready here for NASCAR overtime. The lights are off the official iRacing pace car. We're going to see him take the hard left-hand turn back down pit side. And we will get ready down here through the tri-oval in the Geico restart zone to set these drivers back loose here once again at Talladega Super Speedway. Is down and out of the tri-oval. There's the Geico restart zone in the 42 of Kevin Winker back onto the loud pedal. So Winker in Matthew Wood 1 and 2 on the speedway, as Winker not getting the start he was hoping for right there. Not a lot of tight bumping back there behind him, but here they come, starting to reel in that 42 machine. As on the outside lane, Matthew Wood is going to take this race lead down and out at quarter number 2, but the one right is going to jump up to his outside and leave him high and dry on the speedway. Here comes Jordan Hand to the front of the field. Excuse me, chat. I had to sneeze right there. Wowzers, the excitement's getting to me so much I had to sneeze. The allergies are kicking in as Kevin Winker leads the way. Gonna jump down from the bottom side, up into the middle here. Right in front of the 2 rider, Landon Burbage. Burbage in the middle. Here comes that 16. He's gonna move up to the extreme outside lane, as we are 3 wide. Back here behind our race leaders, the white flag has been displayed for Dega Duel number 1 here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League, powered by the Rolling Wieners here this evening, as 3 wide at the front of the field as the 42 now going to see the 29 of Chris Stage roll around to his outside. Stage here in the middle getting bumped and beaten and banging some contact. Around goes Winker. Winker around. I do believe we get another driver up into the outside fence, the 57. Here comes the 29 back up across the racetrack, up and into the air, hopping and jumping and skipping. It's the big one here at Talladega Super Speedway, but we're still racing back to the start-finish line. 3 wide still here at the front of the field. Who is going to have the momentum? Who's going to get pushed? The 38 gets pushed down into the grass. Here comes Matthew Wood and Jordan Hand, door to door, down across the line. It's Matthew Wood. It's Matthew Wood, ladies and gentlemen, picking up the win and pulling the 16 ride into victory lane here at Talladega Super Speedway. Jordan Hand will have to settle for second, and William Connolly will come home in position number 3. I thought Connolly maybe was going to try to push the 16 or the 1 right there, trying to make him 3 wide down across the line and try to pick up the win there himself. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get the run that he needed. But let's go back and take a look at the action that happened down the back straightaway. There's going to be a lot to break down right here, ladies and gentlemen. There's going to be too much to probably look at, as we saw a ton of things happen here. Let's take a look here. A little farther forward, I do believe the 57 rider, Grant Applegate here, kind of stuck in the middle. So Applegate kind of stuck in the middle here as we do see that middle lane getting a big shove. So Dallas Seward kind of leaves the middle lane open here. Gives a shove to the 29, which gets them kind of loose here. Sends the 38 up a little bit higher. 57 still right there. Then as the 57 gets a shot in the back bumper, a heavy hit right there. I do believe that's the 6 rider, Brian Underwood, who gives him a shot into the back end as everyone was kind of loose out of those 3 cars in the middle lane. He gets a shot right there in the Mountain 2, number 57 ride. Gets squirrely, unfortunately comes down the racetrack into that 42 of Kevin Winker. That sends Winker up and into the 38 ride, but you see the 57 pancake. The 88 up into the outside fence, and from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong. As all these drivers trying to get through it, you see Landon Burbage in the 42 of Winker tied together. Winker goes around it, but you see the 29 of Chris Stange here. Stange still at the front of the field. He's leading the way here. He's showing these drivers how to get it done. Let's see if we can get a good look here at Chris Stange and what's happening here at the front of the field. As this is happening back there behind him, he's trying to get his car back under control. The 38 ride is too. He tries to come back down in front of the 38. Unfortunately, the 38 had his nose already down there. They make contact. That's going to send the 29 down and onto the apron here. And as he skids down the apron, he's trying to get this car stopped, trying to get this car turned back around and out of jumping up into oncoming traffic. Unfortunately, he does come back up. He comes back up, and then let's take another look at this one. As there's going to be a ton of contact here. We want another look at this, as there's way too much to see right here. As he comes back up the racetrack, look at this. Jordan Crider, nowhere to go. The 6 ride of Brian Underwood going to get shoved up and into the outside fence here. Everybody else is going to end up piling into this one as well. Look at this. Jordan Crider, Ryan Haller in there. The 79 of Danny White. The 66 ride in there. Thomas Hovarth, the 69 Crider collected in this as well. Look at all these drivers, all of a sudden nowhere for them to go. You look at the 5 ride of Crider up and in the air, going for a wild ride. Danny White, heavy damage. The 8 ride of Brooke over in there. The 76 of Beryl Robbins down low. He's going to drive into it. He's going to get a piece of that contact. Here comes Paul LaCourte into it. He's going to get a piece of that one. 72 as well in there as well. Man, there's just so many cars that just got absolutely destroyed here. Down the back straightaway and on this final lap, we knew it was going to be wild. We knew it was going to be crazy. One of those drivers going for an absolutely wild ride is this 5 ride of Jordan Crider. As Crider sees this happening in front of him, trying to get through it, does a great job avoiding all of that action right there. Then all of a sudden, here comes that 29 right back up the racetrack in front of him, head on into corner number 3, and then watch him hit the wall. Then here comes the 8 ride, gonna go right underneath of him, send him flying up and through the air here. And look at the carnage here at Talladega. Ryan Haller up and off all 4 wheels as well. More drivers having issues as they pile into all of this action. This was a crazy one, ladies and gentlemen. We told you that things were about to get wild here at Talladega Super Speedway, and that's exactly what happened here in this one. Things got very wild in a quick hurry for all of these drivers, man. Things got absolutely out of control down the back straightaway and into corner number 3. Let's take another look at this one. Oh, man, such a heavy hit right there for the 5 ride. A heavy hit for a lot of these drivers. There's nowhere to go. Sitting duck out there on the speedway, but down across the line. Let's see if we can get a look here at this photo finish as our checkered flag is being thrown. We're going to see the number 16 run. I do believe, let's double check here with the official iRacing results. It is Matthew Wood who picks up the checkered flag here in this one. Let's see if we can take a look at it. It's down the tri-oval as all that's happening in quarter number 3. Right down here, unfortunately, the 16 comes down the racetrack hard into the side of the 38 at Dallas Seward. That's going to push Seward down and into the infield right there. And then door to door, the top spot down and through the Geico restart zone. They're drag racing back to the start-finish line. The 25 rider, William Connolly, getting a big run here. He's looking to try to put himself into the winner's circle here this evening. Unfortunately, can't get there, and there is the gap at the front of the field. The 16 of Matthew Wood picking up the checkered flag here in our first Dega race of the evening. by about a foot over the one ride of Jordan Hand. William Connolly right there as well in position number 3. I thought for a moment we were going to see the 25 ride trying to push the 1 to the win here this evening, but doesn't push him, and it's a drag race straight up back to the line. And the 16 of Matthew Wood finds a victory lane here this evening as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth here this evening. Dallas Seward says, so close yet so far, brother. That was a tough one right there, down through the trial ball. I thought for a moment we were going to see you pick up the win. I thought you were going to get it. Unfortunately, couldn't get that one. Oh, my boy Dylan Carrier in here as well says, never fails. Never fails, brother. Unfortunate, just, again, man, Dega. Wrong place, wrong time. Unfortunately, getting tied up in that one. As K-Dub says, what a surprise, the 42 leading on the last lap at a plate track. That's nothing new. Yeah, Winker with a great run there in race number 2. I mean, we may see more of Winker at the front of the field, and K-Dub maybe trying to get a dump here tonight himself if he can, you know, potentially avoid the contact there. I mean, another driver just minding his P's and Q's, really nothing to do with it, nowhere to go, just gets tagged from behind and in the right rear quarter panel and turned around, and nothing that K-Dub could do right there. As Austin says, Johns barely made it through, finishing 7th. Hey, man, that's the lucky breaks you got to get. Sometimes being deeper in the field at the back of the pack, you can work yourself back up and through in a quick hurry. As we saw that 28 ride restarting outside the top 20 in this green-white checkered finish, and all of a sudden we see Matthew Wood and, you know, all these other drivers running into issues, and we end up seeing, you know, some of these drivers working their way up into the front of the field as we're going to get ready to jump up here as the session has come to a close. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the next session here real quick, ladies and gentlemen. We'll jump into the next session and we'll get ready to rock and roll here, but we're going to pull Matthew Wood in for his post-race interview as my boy Dylan Carrier says, apparently I have been wrong place, wrong time 6 weeks in a row now. That's the luck of it, brother. That's the luck of it. Sometimes right place, right time. Sometimes wrong place, wrong time. And sometimes when it rains, it pours, my boy. And unfortunately, another one poured onto you here this evening. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys enjoyed that first Dega duel, if you guys enjoyed that racing action right there, don't go anywhere. We're going to be doing it again. Race number 2 is about to get underway here in just a few more moments. We're going to hop in there, let you guys watch these drivers, you know, race out there for a little bit. They're going to get some practice in and then some qualifying, and then we're going to jump right in to our second main feature event of the evening, our second Dega duel, brought to you by Rollin' Wieners here this evening, as we're going to get ready to pull our race winner up and in to the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for Matthew Wood as Wood picks up the win here this evening, the 16 ride with a great run and a great drive here. Let's jump up and into the booth here. Where are we? Where is the booth? Where is it? There it is. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Matthew Wood, our race winner here in the Discord. We're going to pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Matthew, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Matthew, man, what a run, what a race here, man. Take us back through this one, as we knew these Dega duels were going to be wild. They were going to be a very exciting show here all night long. Did you think, you know, you had an opportunity at this one? I know late in this race, a couple of restarts. You're starting up there on the front row with that 42 with Kevin Winker, but moving around, shuffling around. We saw you go up to that third line there to the extreme outside, a little 3 wide down across the line for the white flag, and then down the back straightaway, things just kind of got absolutely out of hand, absolutely crazy there, and all of a sudden we see you guys still 3 wide racing back to the start finish line, and you're able to pick up the win in Dega duel number 1 by a foot over Jordan Hand.
Yeah, I don't have much time. We're in the new session right now, but just looking back at it, me and Jordan at the beginning of the trial, Jordan kind of moved down on me as I came back up, and that I almost wrecked. The only reason I didn't wreck was because Dallas was there, and it really sucked that Dallas was there, because, you know, Dallas has had such bad luck and bad runs that he needed that, and unfortunately he's just wrong spot at the wrong time to catch me from almost dying. So, but no, Jordan's the only reason I got that. Really, his push just down the back straightaway was incredible. I think NJB Designs, Noah for making the car, Gaston for making my car last week. Just went to my state fair, the Apple Festival today. It was hot, 90 degrees. Walked like 24 miles or something like that. It's crazy. Thank the Lord that I'm here. And good race.
Absolutely, brother. Well, a great run and a great drive there in Dega Duel #1. What's the game plan? What's the thoughts going through your mind here, loading into the session, getting ready to do it all again here? Same drivers, same racetrack. Do you have maybe more people or less people that you want to work with out there on the racetrack? How do you get yourself back up here into victory lane in the second one?
I don't know if I want to be in victory lane, to be honest. I think now that I've won one, I just kind of want to help like Landon or Jordan or Dallas or any one of my teammates. Because me and Jordan came together in the trial, and then that wrecked Dallas, and that that really sucked. But I'd like to get Landon one. I was just trying to figure out with Landon what to do, whether he could get in front of me or not, because I wanted to push him to it. But with that restart, it was impossible. So. I don't know if I'll be in victory lane or not, but we'll see when it comes down to it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we look forward to seeing you back out there on the racetrack. We look forward to seeing you duke it out here in Dega Duel #2 here this evening. Good luck, have fun out there, but congratulations on picking up the first win here on the evening.
All right, thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner in Dega Duel #1, brought to you by Rollin' Wieners here this evening. And the Dash for Cash, I do believe, also going to that number 16 ride as well, as Matthew Wood, one of those drivers, jumping in on the into our Dash for Cash. So I do believe he was able to pick up that win as well and get that money and put himself into a little bit of a interesting ride right there, and being able to get into it for trying to pick up some extra dough. And he's gonna have another opportunity at that again. But you heard him there. He wants to try to get his teammates up and into victory lane here. He wants to see if he can get some of these other drivers in there, as well as qualifying underway here. So qualifying getting started. We were gonna pull in our top 3 there from race #1, but I think what we're going to do is just pull in our race winners. I don't want to interrupt these drivers in their game plan or their strategy calls and everything else, talking with the team and trying to focus up here for their qualifying runs. And then obviously we're going to hop right in to our feature event here, our second Dega Duel, in just a few more moments. And I realized we were taking so much time. We had so much to break down after that wild wreck to finish off Dega Duel #1 here this evening. So we didn't want to really, take too much of these drivers' time, but we had to take a look through all the action, all the contact, and the chaos that just unfolded in that Dega Duel #1 at the end. We couldn't skip over it. We had to watch it a few times there and see what really happened and what unfortunately took place here on the racetrack, and what may potentially take place again here in Dega Duel #2, is the same driver, same track, same everything, about ready to do it again here. Now, as we talked about there in that first duel, who do you work with now? Who do you have friends with? Who are you not happy with there after making some contact, or getting turned by somebody, or not getting help from somebody if they left you high and dry? Maybe that sits in the back of your mind here throughout this second duel on what you want to do and what your game plan is, who you want to help out here. If you're Matthew Wood, you're feeling good, you're feeling great no matter what, because you were able to get that win already. You got those extra playoff points. He's already one of those drivers that's locked into the playoffs. So now what he wants to do is try to help one of his teammates maybe get up here, get a win themselves, lock themselves into the playoffs, or get a bunch of points and try to earn their way into our playoffs here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League here in points-wise, not just by win-wise. As if you win, you're in to our playoffs here, and there's a lot of drivers that are looking for that ticket into the championship battle here on the evening, as we do see Jordan Crider back out there on the racetrack. Kevin Winker was out there. We see Danny White back into the session. Landon Burbidge with another good lap time here in qualifying. Same with Jonathan Gaston and Trenton Johns with another good qual as well. Kevin Winker currently second quickest here in qualifying, so we'll have to wait and see who will end up in this top spot, who will pick up this top position here for qualifying on the evening. It's going to get interesting here, because this is going to set the stage for what people may have to do out there on the speedway. Do you take it a little easy throughout the start of this race? You just might have gotten tied up in a huge wreck there in that first duel. Maybe that sits in the back of your mind. You just went through chaos. You just went through the fire of hell out there on the racetrack down through 3 and 4. You don't want to do this right again. As soon as you get back out there onto the racetrack, you may want to try to take it a little bit easier, trying to run a little bit smoother, a little bit safer out there on the racetrack. So maybe you play back a little bit. Maybe you fall to the rear of the field. Maybe try to just kind of mind your P's and Q's and not get tied up in any early accidents, and try to be there again at the end and maybe be one of those 3 or 4 cars to not get tied up in the big one down there through 3 and 4, as that took out virtually, I'd say 80% of our field there in quarter 3 and 4 in Dega Duel number 1. As we'll get ready to rock and roll here once again, we do see William Connolly back out there, Scott Healy. We do see Matthew Wood, winner of that first Dega Duel, out there on the racetrack. Jordan Hand coming home in second. Farrell Robbins right there, currently 16th fastest. Ben Gleason going to jump up into the 13th spot here on the speedway. A good qualifying run right there. We do see the 8 run, the Nutter Butter number 8 machine of Nathan Brookover. He stopped here in corner number 2 and on the back straightaway, and he has not taken a lap time here. Same with Josh Crider, but Josh Crider is going to get a lap in right there. Currently 19th quickest. Paul LaCourte yet to qualify as well in the 41. So it's going to be interesting here how this is all going to play out for race number 2, as qualifying about to come to a close here in just a few more moments. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back in. And if you guys haven't already, please make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button on the broadcast, hit the share, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, become part of the Peacemaker crew, and enjoy some of the amazing racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming, whether it's NASCAR racing here with the Premium, Stock Car Racing League, or any of the other amazing series that we put on here. You know, every single night of the week, we're live every single night, bringing you guys some amazing action, some amazing content to sit back, relax, and enjoy here on Peacemaker Gaming. So make sure you guys do us a favor, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as we get ready to rock and roll. Dega Duel number 2 about to get underway, meaning our second Dash for Cash underway here, as well as our beautiful sponsors, the Rollin' Wieners Dash for Cash, the Rollin' Wieners Dega Duel number 2 about to get underway here in this one. This is going to be a ton of fun. This is going to be absolutely amazing, as you know what, we're going to make this the Rollin' Wieners. I think I spelled Wieners wrong. Is it I-E? Is it I-E? How do you spell Wieners, chat? Is it I-E? I think it's I-E. As SJ Logic says, I wonder how I die this race. Oh, brother, I don't know. There's endless possibilities out there for you to, unfortunately, get destroyed out there on the racetrack. You know, it's not about really how it's going to happen. We know it's going to be vehicular manslaughter. No, I'm just kidding. We know it's going to be something crazy out there on the racetrack. It's going to be about where it happens and when it happens. When will we see this big one again? Do we see green-white checkers in NASCAR overtime like we did in Dega Duel number 1? Or do we see this one go a little bit more cleaner and greener towards the end and have some craziness here at the start of the race where we may see drivers unfortunately not be able to continue rolling out there on the racetrack if they get tied up in a couple different incidences out there on the speedway. As Landon Burbage will start in that pole position, Jonathan Gaston there in second. Chris Stange going to start in position number 3 with Brian Underwood there to his outside. The Mountain Dew number 57 of Grant Applegate will start in 5th, and to his outside will be the 25 of William Connolly. Starting in position number 9 here on the speedway is the 28, actually going to be starting in 7th is Trenton Johns. To his outside is the 38 of Dallas Seward, rounding out our top 8 on the speedway. Starting in the 9th position is the 88 ride of Dylan Carrier. To his outside is the number 42 of Kevin Winker. So Winker rounding out our top 10 here on the speedways. Then we'll see the Monster Energy 64 of Scott Healy, the 9 of Noah Blackwell, the 79 of Danny White, the 66 ride, the Oscar Mayer Wiener Machine of Ben Gleason there in 14th. Matthew Wood going to start back here in the 15th spot. We'll have Jordan Hand to his outside. Farrell Robbins going to start back in the 17th position with Thomas Horvath to his outside. Then we see Josh Griner there in the 19th spot, and Ryan Haller rounding out our top 20 here on the speedway. Jordan Crider back there in 21st with Jaden Porter in the 74 there in 22nd. Paul LaCourte will start there in 23rd, and Nathan Brookover in the 8 ride, the Nutter Butter number 8 machine will start here at the rear of the field and in that 24th position. As we are going to get our second Dega Duel underway here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as we're going to get ready to set these drivers loose. As Austin says, let's hope it's John's race this time. As my boy Dylan says, catch fence, I mean, I'll fly like an airplane. Oh, brother, hopefully we see everybody stay on all 4 tires here throughout this one. Hopefully we see everybody stay on the ground. We don't want to see anybody flying through the sky here in Dega Duel number 2, brought to you by the Rollin' Wieners here this evening. Is out in front, Landon Burbage and the number 72 of Jonathan Gaston will see that green flag fly. So race number 2 is underway here on the evening. Race number 2 is coming right at you, ladies and gentlemen. It's down into corner number 1. You see that 29 ride shoving Landon Burbage out in front as everybody down through the gears. They are working themselves up to max speed here at Talladega Super Speedway for the premium stock car Racing League Dega Duels here this evening. Landon Burbage going to lead us down the back straightaway. You see that 72 run Jonathan Gaston trying to get everyone lined up and stacked up here and starting to push to his back bumper to mount the challenge to get to the outside of our race leader Landon Burbage. As you see that 3rd line trying to start there just ever so slightly down the back straightaway. You can see the 38 right and the 42 of Kevin Winker and Dallas Seward up there trying to work themselves to the front of the field. Unfortunately for both of those drivers, nothing fighting for them right there. Unfortunately, they couldn't get anything rolling. They end up battling a little farther back out there on the racetrack as, man, so far, both of these races have been absolutely insane. Both of these races have been absolutely wild. Watching these drivers duke it out in battle here on the evening. And if you guys want a good look here, let's take a quick look at all of our drivers here this evening. Now, things happen a little too quickly. Things go a little bit crazy here at Talladega. It's tough to bring in each of these drivers in individually, especially when there's so many amazing drivers turning on the driver cams here. So we got them all grouped together. We get a great look here at these competitors and what they're doing. We see, Josh Crider, Jordan Carrier out there with the webcams turned on. We see, I believe that is Matthew Wood as well. Dallas Seward with the webcam turned on. We see Landon Burbage, Jaden Porter. A lot of these drivers having those webcams turned on for us here this evening to give us a good look and a good idea on what they're doing behind the wheel and how they're navigating out there on the racetrack and what's going through their minds out there on the speedway. And hey, focus on the race, brother. Focus on the race. Look at him. He's waving up there. He's waving up there. Focus on the race. This guy is crazy in this one. Oh, gosh. I'm glad we had that, so it was already turned off, thank God. But, man, these guys, they're having a lot of fun out there on the racetrack, even though sometimes, you know, frustrations can boil over. They get a little bit hot-headed out there. That is just the competitiveness and the fierceness of these drivers and these competitors here on the racetrack. Each and every one of them want to win. They want to be up in victory lane. They want to be able to have the best showing that they can here. And unfortunately, sometimes plans go astray. Sometimes things go wrong, and you know, sometimes no fault of their own. Sometimes they feel maybe, you know, they didn't deserve what may have happened to them, and unfortunately that's just not how racing works. And sometimes they need to be a little bit more lucky than good out there on the racetrack, especially when it comes to a racetrack like Talladega. You got to be very, very lucky to avoid some of the chaos that can unfold in an instant out there on the speedway, especially when we're running 3 wide out there. You take a look here between our race leader and about the 15th car on the racetrack. You can throw a blanket on them. You can throw a blanket on them. There's 30 feet here between the top 30 cars on the racetrack. So one wrong move, one wrong mistake at the wrong time can all of a sudden tear up a lot of quick cars. We saw that there at the end of our first Dega race here this evening. How quickly things can unfold and how much carnage we can see here in one single instant. One wrong push, one wrong brake for one of those drivers. All of a sudden we see 10, 15, 20 cars getting absolutely destroyed right here in corner number 3 and 4. And now we may not see that here all race long. We may see this one go clean and green and not have a single incident out there on the racetrack, especially after these drivers already, you know, experiencing and learning and knowing what to do and what not to do out there on the racetrack in that first stage. You know, maybe trying to take it a little bit easier. I don't see that right now. These guys are still battling out there 3 wide, which I'm quite surprised to see early on in this run. As 3 wide early on, that's actually kind of crazy, ladies and gentlemen. 3 wide already is kind of wild out there for each and every one of these competitors to kind of roll around the racetrack and battle this hard, this early. And there you go, there's contact. Matthew Wood, our first Dega winner of the evening, goes around the caution flag out there on the speedway. As, oh man, that's a tough break. That is the highs and lows of racing right there, ladies and gentlemen. You go from winning a race not only about 10-15 minutes ago, you go from winning one of these things to all of a sudden now being that driver that gets turned around and unfortunately going for a ride here into corner number 3. See already some pretty good rear end damage here. I'm not sure if that's from the 69. That is from the 69 ride. So you take a look here at the Premium Stock Car Racing League by Agra. The rubbered up racing number 69 ride gets in here, and you see the 25 leading this pack. He gets into the fence right there, so that kind of stacks up this outside lane, and farther back you get, the less you see up in front of you here. So as they're rolling down this back straightaway, there's the 25 into the wall, stacks him up, and then the 69 ride just a couple times. You see him not only once but twice going to get into him. So the first time he gets into him, gives him a big shot. Now he gets checked up. The 66 gets into the back of the 69, which puts him back in to that 16 machine. And unfortunately, they just kind of stayed together. Around goes that 16 run. He's actually going to bounce off of Danny White. Danny White nowhere to go right there. Look at Thomas Horvath. Oh my gosh, if Horvath can make it through there, as you do see Farrell Robbins getting some contact into that one as well. And somehow or another, Thomas Horvath, the 74, going to get some pretty good damage there. The one right at Jordan Hand somehow snaking through that one. Jordan Hand came home second in that first Dega race here on the evening. Somehow he makes it through there without much contact or any contact at all. See if we can jump right on board here with Jordan Hand as he snakes his way somehow through there as he's looking at his 16 ride. Getting onto the binders here, able to avoid him. This 79 goes up and in front of him. The 66 up and in front of him. Somehow he's able to keep himself out of trouble and out of all that carnage right there. Let's take a look at the 54 ride as well, as Horvath was another one of those drivers that somehow snakes his way through this. Sees that contact right there in front of him. The seats just part, and he's able to just barely avoid getting tore up right there. Wow. So some big moves, some big runs there for a lot of those drivers as we'll get them ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. As out in front, it is the 72 ride of Jonathan Gaston who leads the way. Gaston out in front with Dylan Carrier there in second. Brian Underwood there in third with Noah Blackwell, Trenton Johns, Landon Burbage, Kevin Winker, Chris Stange, and Paul LaCourte right there as well in that 9th position. Dallas Seward rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Well, this is going to be very interesting on what these drivers can do, who's going to be able to get some pushes and get some runs and try to work themselves back to the front of the field here, as we are going to see this stage end in just a little while. As Natalie says, let's see if the second race can be a cleaner race. Spoke too soon. That's why it happened, Natalie. Natalie jinxed us. Natalie, why would you say something? Natalie, you jinxed us, okay? Come on now. Come on now. You can't be saying stuff. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with you, Natalie. Absolutely. You spoke just ever so slightly too soon there on that one. As unfortunately, we do see some contact there. But hey, it can still be cleaner. It can still be better here. We saw about 4 or 5 pretty good sized wrecks there in that first Dega duel. Maybe Dega duel number 2. Maybe we see it a little bit cleaner. Maybe we only see that 1 caution flag, maybe 2. Maybe these drivers will see that happening and decide to maybe take it a little bit easier. Maybe be a little bit more cautious out there on the racetrack. Maybe not try to push the subject as early, going 3 wide out there on the speedway, giving each other that extra little bit of room out there on the racetrack in case if something happens, as we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Is out in front, Jonathan Gaston. He leads the way here with Dylan Carrier there in second. You see Brian Underwood, Noah Blackwell there in third and fourth on the speedway. Then row number 3 is the 28 of Trenton Johns and Landon Burbage. Row number 4 is Kevin Winker and Chris Stange. Row number 5 and rounding out our top 10 is the 41 of Paul LaCourte and Dallas Seward. Then we see Thomas Horvath, Jordan Hand there in 11th and 12th. Jaden Porter, Scott Healy, William Connolly, Nathan Brookover, Jordan Crider, Matthew Wood, Ryan Holler, Ben Gleason, Grant Applegate, Danny White rolling back out onto the racetrack there in the 79 ride. Farrell Robbins jumping back out here as well. And here comes the 5 ride of Josh Crider jumping back out here as well. We saw Crider there at the end of that first Dega race of the evening. Went for a wild ride down through 3 and 4. This car was about 10-15 feet up and off the air, flying through the sky there in 3 and 4. And good to see him out here with the backup car and back out there onto the racetrack, looking to battle here and try to get a little bit of a better run and a better finish there than what he did in that first Dega race of the evening. So we'll get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here in this one, as this is Dega Duel number 2. Let's make sure we clarify that here. Let's clarify Dega Duel number 2 here. Let me put a number. There we go. Dega Duel number 2 here this evening for these amazing drivers to go to battle. Buttons are getting a little sticky. That's wild. All right, down through the tri-oval. The 72, the 88, ready to go back to green flag racing. Jonathan Gaston down through the Geico restart, so we'll see that green flag fly here once again. So quickly, he jumps back out and starts to lead the way, but no push and help right there on his back bumper. He's going to hook the 6 wide, gets up to speed and gets there to his back bumper in a quick hurry, as you see the 88 starting to build up a little bit more momentum, as there goes the shoves. The 6 wide washes down the track right there, the 28. They're going to have to try to recollect themselves here, trying to get lined back up. And as they do that, they're broken up, and you see that 88 get pushed straight to the front of the field. So Dylan Carrier, now our race leader with the 9 rider, Noah Blackwell, right there on his back bumper. Landon Burbage there in third, as now we see Jonathan Gaston back to position number 4. And you see him slide up the racetrack, looking to go to the middle group here, as he sees that 42 of Kevin Winker starting to work himself towards the front of the field. So the Winker Nation ride coming up, as we do see the 41 down through the infield. That was Paul LaCourte going through the grass right there. The caution flag is going to come out onto the racetrack here for this number 41 ride. So, oh man, this gets a shove right here. I'm not sure who gets into the back end of him. I do believe that is Thomas Horvath right there, going to give him a shot. Unfortunately, it just sends him down the track hard into the inside wall there just before pit road, and he's going to go down through the grass here, and that will bring out our caution flag for the second time here in this race, second time in race number 2 for our Dega Duels. So a tough one right there. So we'll get them all ready to rock and roll and ready to go back to green flag racing. Now, this could hopefully be a little bit of a quicker caution flag here, as not a whole lot of cleanup, not a whole lot of drivers that are going to be forced to come down pit road or anything. So should be pretty quick here in this one, or they may have ended up going with stage number 10 as our stage break here. I know Josh Crider, one of the admins, he was telling me that they were going to go with 10 laps for each duel, and then they were going to switch it to 15. So they may have went with 10. So maybe a little bit of a stage break right there at the same time as a caution flag coming out. I don't think the caution flag necessarily was for the 41 ride of Paul LaCourte, but he may have been saved by the stage break here, as I do believe the 88 ride, this is the end of the stage, is going to be our stage winner here in Dega race number 2. Then we see all these other drivers, the 72 of Jonathan Gaston, Noah Blackwell, Kevin Winker, Landon Burbage, Dallas Seward, all these drivers getting some extra playoff points here and some extra points here, stage points on the evening. As these drivers are going to head down pit side. We see some drivers staying out. They came down pit road before this stage break, and they were able to get some fuel and some tires and everything else that they needed to get back out here onto the racetrack. And now, as everyone else in front of them has now came down pit side, they're going to leapfrog them, and this is going to really flip the racetrack right now. So we're going to see all those drivers that were just at the front of the field now at the back of the field here. So it's going to be very, very wild to see how this is all going to play out. See if Dallas Seward can keep himself here at the front of the field. As Seward leads the way, he gets ready to play here at the front. And he's going to have Ryan Haller, Nathan Brookover, Ben Gleason, William Connolly, Jordan Crider, and Danny White back here behind him. Round out our top 7 here when we go back to green flag racing. Noah Blackwell, one of the first drivers there to come back out onto pit road. He will start there in the 8th position. Dylan Carrier, our stage winner, will start there in 9th, and Kevin Winker will come out in position number 10. So a little bit different look here through the top 10 on the evening, as we'll get them ready to rock and roll and get ready to go back to green flag racing. I'm going to get a quick drink into me, then we're going to go right back to green flag here at Talladega Super Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the broadcast, hit that share, hit that follow, and hit that subscribe button as we get ready to set these drivers back loose here at Talladega Super Speedway.
Everybody, engines roaring loud and proud. Track is hot, fans are wild. Speeds are climbing high and fast. Racing dreams are built to last. Drivers ready, hearts are strong. Victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns. Corners come and swiftly turn. Drivers ready, hearts are strong. Victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns. Corners come and swiftly turn. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine. In this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line. Feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure racing.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. Dallas Seward out in front. He leads the way here at Talladega International Speedway. Talladega Speedway here, the home of the Premium Stock Car Racing League, here on this fine Saturday night as the green flag back out into the air here for the Toyota of Jordan Hand. Is that Supra already with a little bit of left rear damage on the race car? He is going to keep that foot in the throttle though. Not going to let that affect his run, not going to let that affect his ride here this evening as we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Going around, that was Danny White. Oh, what in the world just happened, ladies and gentlemen? iRacing just closed on me. What in the just happened? Oh gosh, darn it. What in the world just happened, chat? iRacing just literally shut down. What in the world? Why did that just happen? Let me join. Let me join. Join it. Ugh. I don't know if I can rejoin the server or not. Oh god, this could be an issue, ladies and gentlemen. Bear with us there, as we did see that 79 ride go around. I have to probably withdraw and then redraw into it. Hopefully we can do that. I'm not sure if we can or not. Hopefully we can. Sessions, view session. Watch. Car, continue. Already connected to the session. I'm not connected to it right now, though. Oh, man. This is not good, ladies and gentlemen. This is not good at all. iRacing absolutely sending us through a loop right here. Hopefully we can get into this somehow or another. See if I can get in, if I can spot off one of these drivers. It can hopefully work. I'm hoping that this is going to work for us, chat. This is going to work. Okay, perfect. All right, okay. They had me stressing there for a quick minute. I don't know why in the world they just shut out, but we are back into it. Force quit iRacing? I guess so. I must have Alt F4'd or something. I don't know what in the world that one just happened, but we got her. We're back in. We're back in now. I don't know why I decided to just randomly take us out of there. I'm not sure if that was my internet or what that might have been that just took us out, but the stream doesn't seem to have any issues, so I don't think it was internet-based. It's a bit of a wild one. A little bit of a wild one right there, but things are looking fine. Things are looking good. Hopefully we can keep on continuing here and get back into this race as quickly as possible. As during our crank it up right there, we did see that 79 ride of Danny White go around. He was up towards the front of the field there. Had some contact, went around. Didn't look like too many other drivers got a piece of it, so doesn't look like too much damage there for him. As we are back in here, we are back to battle here out there on the racetrack. So welcome back in as the action is about to get back underway here in this one. As these drivers out there on the racetrack still under the caution flag, so we keep on rolling out here on the speedways. Brian Underwood at the front of the field. See Noah Blackwell possibly having some issues with the caution flag. Let's see if we can take a look back and see if this was just an extended caution flag, which I do believe it was. All right, so yeah, just an extended caution flag right there. We are ready to rock and roll, though. We are ready to go back to battle here in this one, even after the connection issue right there and really messing us up there for a hot moment or two. We will get ready to go back to battle here in this one. Thank God we got that one figured out and got back in here without missing any of the action. Alrighty, so we will get them ready to rock and roll and ready to go back to battle here in this one. As our crank it up there was underway, we were trying to take a quick little break right there, but as the lights are out on the official iRacing pace car, we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments. So the racing action about to come right at you here in just a few more seconds as the green flag about to come back out here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Yeah, apparently, Kurt, that hit was so ferocious it must have cut a connection line with the broadcast booth there. Luckily enough, the crew, the officials were able to get out there onto the racetrack, and they were able to reconnect our wires there to bring us back online and bring the cameras back online for us here this evening. It's up in the broadcast booth. That hit so hard, took out the line to keep us rolling here and keep the live feed for the race cars out there on the racetrack. But we are back here, and we are ready to go back to green flag racing. We are ready to duke it out here once again with the Premium Stock Car Racing League here this evening. These drivers ready to rock and roll. They're ready to go to battle. Is out in front, leading the way. It's that 6th ride of Brian Underwood. Underwood at the front of the field, showing these drivers that he may be the car to beat here this evening and in this feature event. It's the 6 of Underwood getting ready for another big restart. The rest of the field right there behind him, ready to pounce, ready to try to knock him out of this top spot. Here is only 12 more laps left to go, 11 this next time by the start-finish line. So things are already starting to heat up. Things are already starting to get a little crazy out there on the speedway. Now we're going to start to see the intensity ramp up more and more and more. Every single lap that gets clicked off, we're going to see these drivers starting to make more and more bold moves out there on the racetrack. Whether it's trying to go 3 wide, 4 wide, maybe try to push a driver or a teammate, a friend of theirs, closer and closer to the front of the field. How hard do they push? When do they push? When do they make what could be the race a winning move here as we see more contact down the back straightaway? The 88 ride of Dylan Carrier going to get tied up in this one. I do believe that was the 5 of Josh Crider right there with them. So some contact here between these two drivers down and out at corner number too, and unfortunately for both of them, just some bad pushing, some bad shoves right there, and gets the 88 loose. He gets up into the fence and bounces back down and into that 5 right, and I think some both bent out of shape, and both of these drivers are going to lose the draft here, the lead draft with the rest of the field, and that's going to put them at the back of the pack here, and unfortunately that's going to put them potentially out of reach of winning this race. If we stay clean and green, this one is going to be very, very interesting. Clear all. Oh, wrong spot, J6 time. Wrong spot, brother. He's trying to do commands out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, he's in the wrong chat right now. He was in the iRacing chat. He is in the YouTube chat. So whatever you were trying to do right there, you put her into the wrong spot. Mr. 6 times out there on the racetrack is out in front, leading the way. Talking about 6 times, we talk about the 6 ride. Here as there's contact, around goes the 69. More contact, 28 ride. Collected in this one, the 72 against, and some contact as well, as we do see Farrell Robbins in there. The 1 rider, Jordan Hand, tons of damage here. For our second place finisher in the first duel of the evening, Jordan Hand is nowhere to go right here. And his contact up and in front of him. Let's see if we can get another look at this one. They do believe contact between the 28 and the 69 right there, as the number 1 ride pokes his nose out there trying to go 4 wide. Let's play this back just a little bit and slow it down for you. See that 1 ride. He's trying to go 4 wide here on the racetrack. He is way up the track. The 28 ride makes contact with the 69 as he goes up and over the nose of the 1 machine. Contact down low. It's the 72. 69 make contact with Winker and Connolly. And then you see, unfortunately, for the 28 and the 1, pretty heavy contact here for both of these drivers. The 2 rider, Landon Burbage, in there as well, as Burbage gets underneath that 28 ride and actually sends that car up and onto 2 wheels there. So let's see if we can jump right on board here with the number 2 of Landon Burbage. Just Burbage just really nowhere to go. Another one of those drivers just trying to mind his P's and Q's out there on the speedway, and then all of a sudden he's parked underneath of this 28 ride and heavy damage to his front end. Damage there, getting into the 1 ride, and there you go. You get a good look as the hood coming up and off and into the number 2 ride, and more damage, more contact. Everyone's sliding around, and there's a lot of wildness right there, as Austin says the whole chat is mad at him because he slid. Crazy, crazy. That's the way it goes sometimes, brother, and that's the thing with these races, is that the closer and closer that we get to the end of a run, something happens. Someone's got to be to blame, right? And unfortunately, everyone that's in the race, they can't quite see it, all full amount. They haven't really broken it down or looked at it too much. They may afterwards, but right there, obviously hot heads out there on the racetrack, they're gonna call it as they saw it or anything else. And sometimes that's the intensity that builds up, the competitiveness out of each and every one of these drivers trying to get everything they can. And when things don't go right, unfortunately, everyone, tries to point fingers. Not everyone, but most people, they tend to point fingers, especially in the heat of the moment, and you can never blame somebody for the heat of the moment comments, whether or not it's here on iRacing, in real life racing, or, any kind of sports thing, as you will see some wild things at some, very hot moments on the, in competitiveness, as definitely a bit of a wild one right there. Definitely going to make things even more interesting as we stack them up and get ready to go back to green flag racing. Going to be another short run to the checkered flag here in this one. As Dallas said, well, his car is doing the cha-cha from time to time, so that's fitting. There's been a lot of cha-cha real smooths and not real smooths all evening long, unfortunately. A lot of cha-chas out there right now, as door bumper not clear. Yeah, 100%. Hey, sometimes it happens, and sometimes, the spotters or the the iRacing spotters or anything else, sometimes they are not very accurate. Sometimes they do not give you as quick as updates as you would like or hope for. I mean, with any type of racing, things happen in milliseconds, and you only got milliseconds to adjust or try to correct mistakes, and that's why they call them accidents. They happen in everything. They happen in real life racing every single day. They happen in real life every single day, whether it's racing or non-racing. Accidents, they do happen. Luckily enough for all these drivers, they were able to get their cars, for the most part, back into racing condition. Now, the only thing that they're going to have to worry about is the loss of a little bit of track position out there on the racetrack. When you look back here at Jordan Hand, that car is back together. Unfortunately, now back in the 21st spot. We see Farrell Robbins, Nathan Brookover back there, as well as Kevin Winker, Dylan Carrier. A lot of these drivers a little deeper in the field, but you see Jordan Crider, he's still up there inside the top 15. Landon Burbidge, he's up there in the 13th position. So not a huge loss of ground there for the two-rider. The other guys as well that were collected there in that one. And luckily enough, they're able to keep on rolling, keep on battling here on the speedway, and still lots of time. It only takes about a lap or two. Some good pushes, some good shoves, a little bit of open racetrack here and there. You can work yourself from the back of the pack right back to the front of the field here in a quick hurry. And sometimes it can be a bit of blessing in disguise, being a little deeper in the field at this stage. We saw, the 28 ride last race. He restarted our overtime, deep in the field. He started outside the top 20, ended up coming home still with a top 10 run in that last lap. And just staying out of the carnage a little later in the race could potentially put you into a winning or a very solid finish here on the evening. So the race is not over until that fat lady sings it, until we see that checkered flag fly. It's anybody's game out there on the speedway. And we're going to get ready to see how it all plays out. All we can do is ride on board and enjoy the show here with all these drivers. As out in front, Brian Underwood leads the way here with Jonathan Gaston there in second. Ryan Haller, Scott Healy, Thomas Horvath, Ben Gleason, Matthew Wood, our first Dega Duel winner of the evening there in 7th. Paul LaCourte, Danny White, Jaden Porter, our top 10 here on the speedway. Dallas Seward there in 11th with Noah Blackwell there in 12th. We're going to see if we can jump right on board here with Dallas Seward here for this restart. I do believe we put Dallas's webcam in. Let's double check it. Grab that real quick. Alrighty, as we get ready to go back to green flag racing here at Talladega International Speedway, we're going to jump right on board here with this number 38 ride of Dallas Seward to Seawork. Rolling just outside the top 10. We'll see if this 38 ride can work himself back up in towards the front of the field. Had a good shot, had a good run going, and it was almost in a winning position there in that first run. That first Dega Duel. We'll see if he can put himself back into that same spot here. Maybe a different turn of events. And maybe see this 38 ride try to find himself a way into victory lane. And some more contact. Beat him bang, and Seward trying to hang on to it. Seward able to get through there, but a little bit of damage, a little bit of contact there for that number 38, as we do see the caution flag come back out. Shout out there to Dallas having the driver cam on for us, but we're going to jump back out and take a look and see what happened and how this another caution flag came out here in this one, as I do believe the 74 ride of Jaden Porter right here, that baby blue, light purple, and white 74 ride is the car that's in question here for this caution flag. Now, we don't know if he had some help or not. You do see the 9 ride of Noah Blackwell right there behind him, and then you see, unfortunately, it looks like Blackwell gonna get a little piece of him right there. Unfortunately, you already see the 79 down the racetrack. Matthew Wood going to get a piece of that, as well as the 74 comes down the track. We saw that right in front of Dallas Seward, but unfortunately for Danny White and the 16 of Wood, they both get a little bit of contact and a little bit of damage right there. A little bit of left front contact as well for the 74 ride of Wood, and then, hard hit down into the inside wall for the AG's Designs at number 74. Heavy contact there for him, heavy damage for that number 74 out there on the speedway. So we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. But let's jump on board and take another look here and see what happens for that 74 ride. And just a tough break right there. 74, once again, another car kind of just minding their own business here, minding their P's and Q's, and this is Talladega. Unfortunately, just the wrong bump at the wrong time. Unfortunately, just the wrong spot. Shoves him down the racetrack, bounces into the 16 ride, and goes around and gets contact off the 16 and then into that inside fence. Heavy damage, and A lot of contact there for Jaden Porter, and he's going to get that car rolling here. Luckily enough, all the tires are going to stay up on it, so he's going to cruise back down towards pit lane and hope the crew can go to work and get that car fixed back up and back out there onto the racetrack as they are rolling back out here on the speedway. Looks like they have gotten that car repaired, so he'll keep on rolling in the Sim Racing Center number 74 ride here this evening. Out in front, it is Scott Healy now with the race lead. So Healy now leads the way with Jonathan Gaston back there in second. Brian Underwood there in third with Ryan Holler, Ben Gleason, our top five here on the racetrack. Thomas Horvath there in sixth. Paul LaCour up 16 spots from where he started at the rear of the field, now up into the 7th spot as Landon Burbage, Chris Stange, and Josh Crider rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Noah Blackwell, Trenton Johns, Kevin Wanker, Dallas Seward there in 13th and 14th. The Nutter Butter, number 8 rider Nathan Brookover rolls there in the 15th position with Dylan Carrier, the 1 of Jordan Hand, the 69 of Jordan Crider, William Connolly, Farrell Robbins, Jaden Porter, Matthew Wood, Danny White, and the number 57 of Grant Applegate rounding out our field here. Unfortunately for Grant, he has taken that 57 right off the racetrack. I believe he had another league, another series that he was a part of, so unfortunately missing the finish here of Dega Duel number 2, brought to you by the Rolling Wieners here this evening. So not only the Rolling Wieners sponsoring this race and the night here with the Premium Stock Car Racing League, but the Rolling Wieners coming on board to sponsor our Dash for Cash, where these drivers that are battling out here on the speedway, not only do they have points on the line, playoff positions up for grabs here this evening, but they also got some money on the line as well. A lot of drivers put in some money here to have this Dash for Cash, and I do believe there was $80 between both of these duels. We saw the number 16 Matthew Wood win the race and win that extra money by picking up the dub there in duel number 1 on the evening. He's going to get the payday here from the Rolling Wieners Dash for Cash in race number 1, and he's going to have another opportunity, staying with the rest of the field here, to try to pick up $80 here in the Dash for Cash in Dega race number 2 as the lights are off again. The official iRacing pace car, and I do believe we are going to go into another green-white checkered finish here. So some late race caution flags once again. We're going to see another short run to the finish line. It's $90 to win now. $90 to win now for the Dash for Cash. I think the last update that I got from the officials were $80 for each race, but now $90 for each Dash for Cash race. Is absolutely insane. $90 here already in the back pocket of Matthew Wood, who's going to win that extra Dash for Cash money here in race number 2. Thank you, Dallas, for giving us the update on that one, brother. I appreciate that, my boy, as we get ready to go back to battle. Out in front, the 72 ride, Jonathan Gaston leading the way with Scott Healy there in second. Then we see Ryan Holler, Brian Underwood, Ben Gleason there in the Oscar Mayer number 66 ride, the hot dog machine rolling there in the 5th position. 54, Thomas Horvath there in 6th. Landon Burbage, Paul LaCour, Josh Crider, Chris Stange, our top 10 here on the speedways. We get ready to go back to green flag racing. How's this one going to play out, ladies and gentlemen? How are we going to see this one finish? If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button here in this one. As not only one green-white checkered finish here this evening for the Premium Stock Car Racing League, but 2, as Dega Duel race number 2 is about to come to a conclusion here. But do we see another caution flag? Do we see this one go clean and green and see the checkered flag here? As these guys, they got to make it all the way back around. We need to see that white flag fly. If we see that white flag be displayed, no matter what, the next flag will end this race. So each and every one of these drivers, they know that. They know they got to get back to this white flag. But we saw it there multiple times in Dega Duel number 1 that we did not make it back down and around here for one of these NASCAR overtimes to see that checkered flag. As Scott Healy, a great restart, quickly jumps down and in front of the 72 with Jonathan Gaston. So Gaston now in second here on that inside lane. The 99er Ryan Haller hoping for some help here to his back bumper. Is now the 6th ride of Brian Underwood is going to jump up in front of him. The pushing and shoving going to start to build even more down the back straightaways. Each and every one of these drivers trying to put themselves up and in to victory lane. We're going to see a lot of drivers throwing blocks. We're going to see some big moves in 3 wide already, and there's some contact. Around goes Dallas Seward. Seward's around the 16 of Wood, just getting through that, and the caution flag back out onto the racetrack. So we do see another caution flag, and we'll see another attempt here at NASCAR Overtime. Kevin Winker, one of those drivers, collected the 28 ride in there as well. And a lot more drivers, unfortunately, getting tore up right here. I do believe we saw the 2 of Landon Burbage getting collected in this one. And a couple other drivers as well getting tore up right here in this late race caution flag. Let's take a look back and see what happened here. As a big run on the outside. The 2 kind of gets into the back of the 54. The 28 gets into the back of the 2 ride, and then the 28's going to get ran into from behind, and as he does, that gets him bent out of shape there. I do believe that's Dallas Seward. Let's see if we can get this stopped and get another angle at this. As I do believe Dallas Seward here. You're looking at that 3rd line on the outside towards the outside wall here at Talladega. There's the contact from Dallas Seward as he gets into the 28. Then he goes down and across the nose of the 8 ride, the Nutter Butter Machine. Fortunately, nowhere to go there for Brooke Over. And then you see 2 ride. Unfortunately, he gets a little bit of a tag there from that 28 ride. Him and Chris Stange come together. You look at Stange. Oh, man, Stange up and off the ground right there, sliding through the air. And luckily enough, he's able to keep rocking and rolling, but then he gets tagged by the 16 of Matthew Wood. So race winner in our first duel of the evening. He gets hard contact into the side of the 2 and the 29. See Dallas Seward sliding back up and through that. The 88 of Dylan Carrier getting some damage there as well in that one. So let's see if we can jump on board and watch the 8 ride of Nathan Brookover as he's going to get some contact here from the 38 ride. Gets bounced around up into the fence. You see the 1 ride nowhere to go, but look at how fast and ferocious some of these hits are, man. Some of these were very, very big hits, dangerous contact there by a lot of these drivers and a lot of tore up race cars in a quick hurry here in this one. As Jordan Hand again nowhere to go here. Kevin Winker nowhere to go. Brett Connolly, he's going to get in there as well. A tough hit there for Connolly out there on the racetrack as Will Connolly. Just nothing he can do. Seward, Dylan Carrier, the 76, Ryan getting a piece of it as well. Farrell Robbins, and a lot of tore up race cars here this evening as we'll get them ready to rock and roll here once again in this one. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whew, we were just able to catch our breath there in that one, but here we go. We're going to get it going here again as my boy Dylan says, let's go. 7 weeks in a row, baby. Love this. Punch my wheels so hard. My hand is bleeding. Oh, gosh. Dylan, relax, brother. Relax. You'll live another day, my boy. Luckily enough, it's iRacing. It's iRacing. That is a tough break right there, brother. That is a tough break for you, and unfortunately, unfortunate there for you, man. That's all we can say, man. That's Talladega. It happens. I mean, you're just luck. I mean, just no luck, brother. You just buy a rabbit's foot, something, change that luck around, brother. I feel like there's a lot of drivers right now probably, feeling the exact same way here this evening. Dallas says skill issue. Oh, gosh. 1-800 don't do it. Oh, gosh. Yeah, 1-800 don't do it is for certain. As Scott Healy at the front of the field here in this one. Going to get ready for the restart. Another NASCAR overtime here. Green-white checkered finish again for the Premium Stock Car Racing League. And our rolling wieners. Dega Duel number 2 on the night is Scott Healy, Jonathan Gaston, Ben Gleason, Brian Underwood, Thomas Horvath, our top 5 here on the Speedway. Josh Crider there in position number 6 with Ryan Haller, Paul LaCour, Noah Blackwell, and Jordan Crider, the birthday boy, rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Beryl Robbins back there in the 11th position with Jaden Porter, Matthew Wood, Nathan Brookover, the 29 of Chris Stange, our top 15 here on the Speedway. We do see Dallas Stewart headed back down pit side here once again as Kevin Winker, he's trying to catch back up to the rear of the field here, currently scored in the 17th position. William Connolly out there, he's in the 18th spot. Trenton Johns, I do believe, off and out of this race. Jordan Hand down pit side, extensive damage being repaired to that one ride as he's down pit road for an extended period of time. Same with the 2 of Landon Burbage. Dylan Carrier also off the Speedway. Danny White, they're on pit road, getting more work done here to the 79 ride, and Grant Applegate bringing up the rear of the field and already down behind pit wall here himself. As we're getting ready to go back to battle here in this one, as Dylan says, 1-800, I already did it. Oh, you already did it. You can't already lose it. You gotta make sure you're safe out there. As Kurt says, I'd say go big or go home, Gleason. But you're already home, so just go big. Yeah, just go big, Gleason. He's trying to do big things. Currently being scored here in that, I believe, the 4th position right now, 3rd position actually. So Park right here behind that race leader of Mr. Jonathan Gaston. Gaston and Healy 1 and 2 on the Speedway. Gleason, Underwood there in row number 2. You see Horvath and Josh Crider there in row number 3. The pace car getting ready to make the hard left-hand turn back down pit side. So we got a few more drivers off the racetrack and down pit side here off the Speedway. Do we see this being the last caution flag, or do we see another caution flag here before the white flag to finish this race? Or do we see this one come to a close here on this attempt at NASCAR overtime? As down through the Geico restart zone, we go back to green flag racing here with the Premium Sun Car Racing League. Scott Healy, a great restart right there, quickly getting onto the lap hill, jumps down the racetrack in front of Jonathan Gaston. So Healy, Gaston 1 and 2 here on the Speedways. Now you see teammates lined up there on the outside lane as the Gaston iRacing Graphics Premium Stock Car Racing League number 5 and 6 lined up there on the outside group. But here you go, a little bit of 3 wide starting to brew once again as they head down the back straightaway. They're going to leave that number, I do believe the number 64, Scott Healy, all by himself there in the middle. He's going to wash back here into about the 6th spot, 7th spot now on the Speedway, still stuck 3 wide as now he's got 41 of Paul LaCourte there to his outside. The 99 of Ryan Haller down to his inside is down through the tri-oval here at Talladega Super Speedway. Down and across the start-finish line, we will see that white flag fly. It's Brian Underwood who will lead the white flag lap. Can he be the driver to pick up the win? Contact! Oh, the 72 of Gaston almost goes around right there, almost took out a lot of competitors. Somehow or another was able to save that ride and keep it pointed in the right direction. As we now head down the back straightaway, see these drivers shuffling around. Here comes Healy, a big run to the outside lane. He jumps up and in front of Paul LaCourte, now getting shoved to the race lead. Contact back there behind him, the 16 of Matthew Wood. Back into this one. He may have another shot at winning back-to-back duels here this evening, but there's some contact. Porter down into the 16. They go around in quarter number 4, but we're going to drag race back to the start-finish line. Paul LaCourte looking for the win. He's going to go door-to-door with Scott Healy. They're going to continue to battle as around goes the 6 right into the outside fence, down across the line. It's Paul LaCourte picking up the win here in this one. Paul LaCourte is going to pick up the win as they're still wrecking here down into quarter number 1. As let's take a look at it here. Paul LaCourte with a big run and right down and across the line. LaCourte is going to pick up this win here. Let's play it back just a little bit more. Play this a little slower for you as here you go. Bam. Basically the difference right there, 3 wide once again, virtually mirroring the exact same finish that we had in Dega Duel race number 1 on the evening. Race number 2 finishing in the same fashion. Carnage back there behind our race leaders in 3 wide down across the line with the race winner by a foot picking up the win. Paul LaCourte will pull himself up and into the Talladega victory lane here this evening. Not only does he get those extra points, but the extra playoff bonus points and the ticket straight on through into our A main feature event. Huge shout out here to Paul LaCourte being able to punch his ticket into the show here in this one. As Dallas see where it says Simpsons did it. The Simpsons did it. Oh gosh. The Simpsons did it. If they predicted this, then I don't know if we can survive anything else after that. The Simpsons are right about things 100% of the time, 40% of the time. As we get ready to pull our top three up into the broadcast booth here for some post-race interviews. A very exhilarating finish to both of these races. And you can see the enjoyment and the pure happiness out of the 41 ride of Paul LaCourte as he pulls himself up and into victory lane and able to burn down the house here at Talladega Super Speedways. Man, oh man, oh man. What a run, what a race, what a drive as Dylan, I see over there on Discord, posting a photo of his bleeding hand after punching his steering wheel, getting collected in another big wreck here at Talladega late in the race. And we gotta feel bad for the young man there, but unfortunately, just that contact and contact with his hand there as well. As man, Paul LaCourte, he's having too much fun burning down the house here. The 41 ride. Picking up the win here. He's pretty ecstatic about getting this win, and you can see him still doing burnouts out there. Finally going to get that car coming to a rest here. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, Paul LaCourte, as he's going to pick up the win and pull this 41 up and into victory lane. May have to be pushed now as the motor just got expired there. We just saw the motor explode right there down in the grass here and in the tri-oval at Talladega Super Speedways. We're going to get ready to pull our race winner up and into the broadcast booth. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit that like button on the broadcast right now. We only got 8 likes on the stream. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that freaking subscribe button for us. Hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family. Become part of the Peacemaker crew here this evening, where you never miss any of the racing action here on Peacemaker Gaming. As we're going to get ready to pull Paul LaCourte up and in to the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Paul, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Paul, brother, man, a great race and a great run here in this one after a crazy first duel of the evening. Obviously, a lot of contact, a lot of carnage in that one. We see a little bit more of the same here in Dega Duel number 2. Somehow or another, you're able to keep yourself through all the contact, throughout all the carnage there, and get this 41 right up to the front of the field for some of these late race restarts, some of these NASCAR overtimes. And right there, you put yourself in the right place at the right time, rolling that third line on the outside lane. And, you know, you have the 64 jump up in front of you, down the back straightaway. You push him down in through 3 and out of 4. You guys are nose to tail. You make the move, you get the run, and you battle with them and drag race back to the start-finish line, and you're able to pick up the win here in Dega race number 2 on the evening by about a foot here over that 64 ride of Scott Healy. As Healy was looking for that win, you're able to jump up and snag it away from him here with that last lap pass for the win.
Yeah, I got pretty lucky there. I thought when I pulled him up the racetrack, I figured he was just going to stay on the bottom, and when I saw him try to chase me, I took off and didn't know if he was going to come down and get me, but I got lucky.
Absolutely. Sometimes you got to be a little bit more lucky than good, especially at a racetrack like Talladega, man. Take us through, some of the strategy here on the evening between, both of these Dega duels. Did you kind of attack the second one a little differently than what you ran the first duel? Did you learn something there in that first race that you implemented here into this one to really put yourself into a little bit better of position, or is it just luck of the draw and avoiding some of the carnage out there to be able to get yourself into victory lane?
Oh, I think the first one I kind of tried to just ride and take my openings, and didn't really work out in my favor. So the second one I just tried to stay towards the back for the first 10, 15 laps, and then decided there wasn't much for passing. It was kind of hard. So after lap 15, I kind of just started making my moves up through.
Absolutely, and as you're making those moves, you see some carnage around you. Drivers running into issues. Obviously, drivers, starting to feel that frustration boiling over for some of these drivers with, a lot of contact, getting tied up in different wrecks, and unfortunately not being able to have that quick repair anymore on the racetrack. How do you keep yourself focused out there on the racetrack with those caution flags, with all the carnage and mayhem that I'm sure you're hearing over the the race channel there and everything else throughout this race?
It's just mere luck.
Just mere luck. Well, Paul, congratulations being a little lucky, a little good, and picking up a win here in Dega race number 2. And now not only do you pick up the win, but you also pick up that playoff spot as well. Still a huge ability there to earn that playoff ticket into the Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs here, man. How does that feel to be able to get that weight kind of took it off your shoulder and being able to know that you can focus more on just gaining, stage points and everything else here and all those bonus points for the playoffs here coming up in a few short weeks?
I'm kind of excited to be able to be a part of the playoff deal, and I just guess we'll play it by ear.
Absolutely. You can only take what you can get, and you're also going to earn yourself an extra $90 here this evening as well. Picking up the Rollin' Wieners Dash for Cash here this evening. I do believe it's up to $90 now for the winner of Dega race number 2. So $90 payday as well to go back into your pocket here to make the night that much better for you, man. How does it feel to not only be able to pick up the win, but also pick up that extra payday here in this one?
It's not a bad deal at all.
Absolutely not a bad deal. Not bad being able to pick up a win and get paid for it here on a simulator. Paul, congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the great race. Who would you like to thank for such a wicked run and wicked night here at the Speedway?
The old dogs racing crew. I mean, those guys are pretty good to work with, and they give me some tips, and sometimes they help you out a little bit. And also Scott Hamlin Racing, he's a good partner of mine, and Dig Race Products for your Northeast shock needs.
Beauty. Well, Paul, congratulations on the win here in Dega race number 2, brought to you by Rollin' Wieners here this evening. Hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth. Maybe some momentum being built for you and more trips up here into the booth and into victory lane before the start of our playoffs and in our playoffs as well for the 41 ride.
We'll see what we can do. I hope to see you again.
Beauty. Paul, enjoy the rest of your evening and don't party too hard down there in victory lane.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there for Paul LaCourte as LaCourte picking up the win and pulling that 41 ride up and into victory lane here this evening. A great run and a great drive there by our race winner to be able to put himself up and into victory lane. We'll take a quick look back here at some of the carnage, some of the contact that happened back here as things were kind of getting out of hand. We do see that 74 ride get very loose up on the high side here. So he gets very loose. Unfortunately, getting shoved here by that 69 of Lonnie Crider. He comes down into Dega Duel winner number 1. That's the 16 of Matthew Wood. Wood, unfortunately, going to go around here over the nose of Dallas Seward. Seward nowhere to go there. Just a sitting duck as the 16 goes for a quick little loop-de-loop. More contact here down in through the tri-oval. We're going to see more drivers get tore up in this one as 72, everyone trying to stay around that number 16 machine. And then up here a little closer to the front as everyone trying to battle back to our race leader. We're going to see a lot more contact beating and banging here down through the tri-oval. The 6 ride and the 54 making contact. It's Brian Underwood kind of right in the middle of things there. He's going to go back and forth and back and forth. And then finally the 6 ride going to shoot up the racetrack and into the outside fences. The 69 and the 29 both make contact there. The 29 goes around. The 69 goes around. Contact there for the Nutter Butter number 8 ride. As that was a close race back to the start finish line there. Backwards for the 29, and the 8 ride right there as well was there was a very close fight right there across the line as man, there was a great battle back there behind these guys. A lot of back and forth and a lot of contact, but as the dust settles, Paul LaCourte picking up the win and Scott Healy coming home in second as we'll get ready to pull Healy here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey Scott, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Hey, what's up, man?
Not much, Scott, man. A great run and a great drive here for you. Not only in Dega Duel Race number 2, but Dega Duel Race number 1. A pretty good showing. We say up at the front of the field and throughout the field here, trying to avoid some of the carnage, some of the mayhem, and right there at the end here of the evening, having an opportunity to pick up this win as you're able to jump up in front of Paul LaCour, use that draft, use that shove from him to, take this race lead away down through quarter 3 and 4. Then all of a sudden he makes the move, gets to your inside. You guys drag race back to the start-finish line, and it comes down to inches as he was just able to nose in front of you and take this win away from that 64 machine.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes down with the nose, right? So it's all about luck at Dega. I mean, there's nothing you can really do. It's either going to get wrecked out or you're going to try to finish good. I guess tonight was just not my night to win. I mean, the cars were kind of iffy. I mean, the slightest touch has got you stupid loose every single bump. So that last corner in 3 and 4, you kind of bumped me and it almost spun me out a couple times. So I kind of lost momentum. That's how he got to my outside and then inside. And I just tried to door him to try to get this win, but it just didn't happen.
Absolutely. Coming up just inches shy of victory lane here this evening for you, Scott. But man, a great run, a great performance all evening long for you. Got to be pretty happy with how you were able to handle yourself out there, how you were able to kind of work yourself through some of the traffic and be able to finish off this race in second still, being able to kind of give a good showing for that Monster Energy machine and being able to, park it on the podium is going to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I try my absolute best. I try to keep the cars clean as best as possible, especially in new leagues. Just try to give a good show to everybody out there and to the league itself. So that's what I try to do.
Absolutely, brother. Well, you're able to pull yourself up here onto the podium, a second place run here. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive on the night?
I'd like to thank you for bringing up a broadcast. The people who let me be in the races, and my buddy Landon telling me about this league, told me to apply. Friends, family, my girlfriend that was watching, and yeah, that's really it, man.
Beauty. Well, Scott, congratulations on the second place run here in Dega race number 2. Hopefully we'll see you back out here on the racetrack and maybe right back up here into the broadcast booth here in the season for the Premium Stock Car Racing League. Good to see you out there in this one, and hopefully good to see you up here in the broadcast booth much more here in the series.
Thank you, man. I'll try to win next week, so we'll see. Have a good night.
Yes, you as well.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Scott Healy. It's Healy coming home there in position number 2 here on the evening. A great run and a great drive there for that 64 machine. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place finisher here on the evening. We got him up in the webcams as well here. So we got the webcam on, and we are going to get ready to pull in our third place finisher here on the evening. It is that number 5 ride of Josh Crider. Hey Josh, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. You get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Josh, brother, man, a good run and a good race here in Dega race number 2 on the evening, man. Take us back through this night as we saw how things ended for you in that first Dega race. We saw you up and in the air, flying through the sky there. And all of a sudden, here in this one, you give yourself another good run, another good shot at it. You're up inside the top 5, some contact all around you, down the back straightaway, down through 3 and through the tri-oval, and all of a sudden, you're able to pull yourself up here, 3-wide battle across the line. Unfortunately, you're about half the car length back from picking up the win, but you're right there within striking distance, and being able to park yourself up here on the podium, never a bad thing here at Talladega.
Yeah, it was a mixture of night. My Roland Wiener Chevrolet was struggling in Duel 1. Like you said, I was up in the air in Duel 1, got a concussion, had to take a pain pill. Duel number 2, finishing third is good. Didn't get any stage points tonight. Just, didn't feel like it was the right move to go up. I've had success in the past with kind of hanging back like this, and it paid off in Duel 2 with everybody wrecking. My bad to Dylan. I turned Dylan, and he had to use his fast repair, so my bad on that. And then the first race, I caused a big wreck too, so it was a abnormal night for me with the incident wise. But P3 is P3, I guess. So just keep chugging along.
Absolutely, keep chugging along. And now you said something about getting a concussion there after that hard hit in Dega race number 2. Is that why you waved at the fans in the stands like you were Forrest Gump there in duel number 2?
Yeah, I had a little bit of a Tua Tagovailoa moment. My head was rattling around a little
I
bit.
shouldn't laugh
I did.
at that. I had him in fantasy, so I'm fucked. Okay, so I shouldn't laugh
Yeah.
at that.
I mean, I'm a Dolphins fan and whatever, but I took a hard hit there. Like, my wheel snapped and hit the heck out of my hand. It hurt. So that sucked. That hurt. So, but I I looked up in the camera and I wasn't really doing anything else. I was just kind of hanging back in the back. I was like, well, let me wave to all my friends and family and the kiddos watching. So I did that. So whatever.
No, it's okay, brother. We appreciate that. We appreciate you showing the love there in the webcams here on the evening. And man, a good run and a good drive for you here in Dega race number 2, brought to you by Rolling Wieners here on the evening. Josh, who would you like to thank for a great run and great performance here in race number 2 on the night and throughout the evening altogether?
Yeah, I gotta. I was working well with Brian as usual there at the end, and got down in front of Ben, and Ben was there with me, and it should be the other way around. I was trying to help Ben to get into the playoffs. But I mean, I got to thank everybody that supports the league, all the drivers that come out, all the great sponsors that we have. The extra money that was put up. I got to thank the annoying woman that's over here that you can hear saying, thank me. Natalie Underwood, Brian Underwood's ex-wife. I got to thank for the Rolling Wieners Foundation tonight with Kirsten Mai and her kids, Ethan and Garrett, for putting up the money to help out with the Dash for Cash. We had a new winner tonight, with Paul. He's caught some crap in the past with calls and incidents and stuff. So, glad that he could get a win. But let's take a step back and let's talk about the playoffs real quick, if you don't mind. Let's look at the playoff standings. I've already got the points done here, and with Paul winning, that means Chris Getz and Paul are both below the top 12 cut line, but are both locked into the playoffs. So only the top 10 in points right now are going to make it. And Jordan Hands on a driver that was in the Final Four 2 seasons in a row, he's on the playoff bubble. And so, no, forgive me, Applegate has a win. So Jordan's actually out of the playoffs. And Kevin Winker is just 2 points ahead of him. So these next couple of races are going to be something. So we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely. Very tight points battle. Drivers are going to be giving it everything they can to try to work themselves into the playoffs here in the Premium Stock Car Racing League. We saw a new driver get their ticket into the show here this evening. A good run, a good win there for Mr. LaCourte, and a great run here for yourself as well, Josh, as you park it up here in position number 3 in Dega race number 2. Congratulations on the great run. Congratulations on the great race. We can't wait to see you guys back in action next Saturday.
Yep, absolutely. I want to say hi to Uncle Lonnie real quick for watching and supporting. He's already shot me a text, and I told him that I did everything I could there. Just didn't have any help from behind, and I didn't want to wreck the top 2. Solid points night. We'll pack it up and head to Bristol, Tennessee.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see you guys there. Josh, congrats on the great run. Congrats on the great race, and we look forward to seeing you back out there on the Speedway.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher here in Dega race number 2. Brought to you by Rolling Wieners. Here this evening is Josh Crider coming home there in that 3rd spot. A huge shout out again to our race winner, Paul LaCourte, here in race number 2. And a huge shout out to our winner in race number 1 as well, the number 16 of Matthew Wood. So Wood and LaCourte both end up in victory lane here this evening at Talladega Super Speedway. Some extra playoff points getting put into the back pocket for Matthew Wood and Paul LaCourte, earning himself that ticket into the Premium Stock Car Racing League playoffs here for the season. So things are getting very, very interesting. Things are going to get wild here to finish off this series in the regular season in just a few short weeks. So it's going to be wild to see how it's going to play out, who's going to be able to work themselves in, who's going to fall out, how's it all going to play out, as we'll bring you every single second of it right here on Peacemaker Gaming. Unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here on the evening. I can't thank you guys enough for tuning in, everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you for tuning in and showing the love here all evening long. And if you guys haven't already, please do us the simple things, cost you nothing, and helps us out a ton, helps the streams grow a ton. Hit the like button on the stream. Hit the share if you're feeling generous. Share it off to Twitter, Facebook, wherever. And definitely make sure you hit that subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family. Become part of the Peacemaker crew here today. And never miss out on any of the amazing racing action that we bring to you here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Unfortunately, we're only live on YouTube here this evening, but I can't wait to see you guys back in here again tomorrow evening, as we're going to go back to racing action with the NASCAR rides tomorrow at 4 o'clock Eastern time, as our second race with the Outcast Racing League season number 7 or 8 now with the Outcast Racing League tomorrow evening. And then we head to the dirt track for some super late model action later on tomorrow night. So turn on those bell notifications, that way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. And I will see you guys all back in here for some more racing action tomorrow afternoon. Congratulations to all our race winners here this evening. Congratulations to all these drivers put on a heck of a show and a heck of a run. And a huge thank you again to everybody tuning in and showing the love here in this one. My boy Kevin Odalski coming in, showing the love as well. How are you, Odali coming in, showing the big love here in this one. How are you, brother? Says Dad. Sup, Kev? Sup, son? How are you, brother? How are you, my boy? I'll message you in the comment section here for a couple more minutes, but we're going to close things out here, and we will get ready to, call it a night here. But we're going to give you guys another opportunity to listen to our Premium Stock Car Racing League song here this evening, and get ready for the night to come to a close, and let everyone be able to jump in here and rewatch the amazing action here this evening. As Johnny Pop-Tart says, I don't know what this is, but I dig it. Listen, Johnny Pop-Tart, brother, this is iRacing. It's a simulator. It's the closest thing to real-life racing that you will get. And trust me, it is a lot of fun. It is a good time. It is absolutely amazing to be able to jump in here and put on broadcasts like this and give you guys a show. So I'm glad that you like it, brother. And if you dig it, make sure you hit that sub button, become part of the family, and become part of the shows even if you want. Get into the action, as Odeli says. Good, Peachy. I love that. I love that. I love that you're doing good, Cav. Love that you're doing peachy, brother. And always happy to see you up in the comment section here and having some fun in the chat. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to call it there on that note. So we're going to back out. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for tuning in. And I'll see you guys back in here in the next one. Let's go, baby. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. As Kev says, I want a Pop-Tart now. Oh, gosh. I know, right? Pop-Tart would be so good. So good right now. Well, I might have to go get one myself. And I'll see you guys here tomorrow evening for some more racing action for the NASCAR Cup Series and for the super late models at the dirt track at I do believe we head to Charlotte tomorrow. I could be wrong, but we will be at a dirt track tomorrow evening. Thank you all for tuning in. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out, baby. Peace out, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody. Engines roaring loud and proud. Track is hot, fans are wild. Speeds are climbing high and fast. Racing dreams are pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line, feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Uh-oh, uh-oh, grind, uh-oh, racing grind. Pit crew ready, tools in hand, every second by a strand. Fuel and tires, quick change, back to track and destined range. Oh. Pit crew ready, tools in hand, every second by a strand. Strand. Fuel and tires, quick change, back to track and destined range. Oh. Race to the finish line, feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line, feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Uh-oh, grind, uh-oh, racing grind, uh-oh, uh-oh. Race to the finish line, feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Race to the finish line, feel the rush, it's time to shine. Pushing metal, pure and fine, in this premium racing grind. Uh-oh, uh-oh, racing grind. Uh-oh, 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 everybody. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Engines roaring loud and proud, track is hot, fans are wild. Speeds are climbing high and fast, racing dreams are built to last. Drivers ready, hearts are strong, victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns, corners come and swiftly turn. Drivers ready, hearts are strong, victory feels like a song. Wheels they spin, rubber burns, corners come and swiftly turn. Race to the finish line,